Oh, all right. Hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Today, me and Connor are going to be, what are we doing? We're going to be talking about lore and just other random stuff,
Oh
right? In
yeah,
Star Rail?
we're gonna be we're gonna be discussing like how like the stories, our impression, maybe some theory crafting stuff like
Ooh,
that.
yes, yes, about the future stuff. Because even though they said this
Mm-hmm.
is like the end of 2 point, or at least the Penacony story, it still feels like there's a lot of stuff left unanswered, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm especially like really interested in like what the heck is Aventurine doing all this time?
Right, right. Because he just
They
like
never get
disappeared and then they
yeah,
said
and then
that
suddenly that
Argenti
scene.
saved him, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how the heck did he get into Penacony, right? And is it
I mean,
Argenti to
Argenti did
begin with?
mention it right when like they were talking, like when we're talking with Argenti in the talent show area.
I don't remember because it just caught me off so much that he wasn't actually speaking because of the bug. Because I'm assuming you had the bug too, right? Where it's like his voice lines weren't actually going off.
Oh yeah, that's a bug. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
that's like the
I
way the
think they
game
put it
is.
into the notice like. Let me see, because I think they made a notice for it like today, where it's like, yep, that's a bug. Yeah, it
Because
is known
yeah.
in some story dialogues for version 2.2 story that the English voiceover character for Argenti is not available. This should be addressed in future updates, but
Oh, well, that's annoying.
yeah, it
I thought.
definitely like I feel so bad for like the voice actor too if they actually recorded his lines and everything. Although some of my friends were saying that maybe that was on purpose because maybe it's supposed to actually be Sparkle, right? Because it's
No,
like
we
it
have
get,
moments where we had sparkles and like they actually put her voice, like the
yeah,
actual
yeah,
voice
yeah.
actor until it turns back into
But
sparkle.
maybe it was a coding issue, right? And like maybe the reason why it didn't show up was because they accidentally coded it as Sparkle instead of Adventurine. Who knows?
Hmm.
Who knows? I think it is just interesting that Argenti even showed up to begin with. But if he was the past, because he was the past year winner, right? Is what they kept saying. He won like the
Like
previous.
Argenti, yeah, he was the previous winner. Yeah, he's the
Hmm.
defending champion, right? So I mean,
Right,
he's been
right.
there for a while.
So it does make sense that he would show up. It's just also a little bit weird too, because I think he was what swallowed by something, but then he escaped at the last
Oh,
minute. So
in the companion,
yeah, yeah.
it
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, he talked about it like when you meet him, when you talk with him.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think he talked about like saving people along the way too. I
Hmm.
don't remember it's there's like a lot of funny references. For example, like when like he talked about the people that he saved, I think he talked about like Overwatch characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was talking about like this um a mini something bunny related, but like also like mecha user, which is
Hmm.
like diva basically, like in Overwatch. And I was like, oh my god, that's like a reference, and like this game
Yeah,
keeps
because
pouring us with references.
hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because oh, who else? I don't know, I'm trying to remember all of the character stuff because we still didn't get a resolution. Like speaking of Sparkle, we didn't get a resolution about that button that she had, right? That she was like
Yeah,
just passing around, and it's just like I thought that was going to play a bigger role at the end of the story, but nothing happened.
I know they didn't end up using it.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
it's
why
just
like possibly they, well, didn't they say that the game was like this storyline is supposed to be longer?
that's what I thought too. Like I thought this was supposed to end on 2.3, right?
So maybe Trailblaze continuance.
Right,
So the
because
main story ended.
because like we still have everything with the IPC that's still opened, right? Like we don't really know exactly what happened with Jade and everything. And I think that there's still going to be
Mm-hmm.
negotiations, right? So, and we're getting Jade next patch, along with Firefly.
Yep. We don't even know what happens to Firefly. All
I
we
I
just
was gonna
had was just like, oh, she died
well,
again.
speaking of the death thing, didn't she say she was supposed to die 3 times? But we only saw her
Yeah,
die
but like,
twice, right? Did she ever have that
uh-huh.
third death?
I thought our what we're doing there was to prevent her third death, right? Because she
But
mentioned how
but
like
can we prevent it? Because it's
sh-
part of his script.
no, that's the thing. Like she said that like when we were like about like when she's about to fly away,
Mm-hmm.
she mentioned about like how like whether like your success tonight like will make sure that like my third death is like not as
Hmm.
painful or something like that. Like something like to something along the line of like affecting her third death.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to know like what is her second dad? What the heck she was doing that like allowed her like to like save us? Because like they mentioned that like she ended up saving us because of like what she did, right? Like I think
Right.
Black
Right.
Swan
Because
told us about it.
yeah. Because the first death was with the dragon-looking thing, right? And then the second death was whatever she did to help save us at the end of Penacony. And then I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what the third death was. And I don't think we've had that yet. So
I know we had the story seems to be ending like the majority of it, but like
mm-hmm.
somehow there's still a lot of like missing links. That's what I feel.
Yeah, so maybe we should kind of go back and just kind of recap everything that kind of happened throughout these stories, right? And then maybe we can try to piece together some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sounds
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, because let's see, in 2.0, we first got into, was it Penacony from, and whoops,
Mhm. Wait,
and
well,
we were told to find about
before
the
all of
Watchmaker's
that
legacy.
started,
Hmm.
yeah, we received the invitation, right? But
Hmm.
we got stopped when we were entering Penacony's area. We fell asleep and like met Akron.
Right, which turns out to be the bunch of weird, interesting time loopy stuff, but yep.
Uh-huh.
And then,
And like it's like reference again like in the last part of the game too. I
mhm.
find it really interesting.
Yeah, so we go through that and we find pretty much that everyone's kind of after the Watchmaker's legacy, right? Even though we don't know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And that's where we meet Firefly. Firefly ends up
Mm-hmm.
dying, or we think she dies. And then same thing with Robin too, right? Where we think Robin is also
Yep.
dead as well. And then
Mm-hmm. We
from
were
there,
like
mm-hmm.
and then from there we tried to like explore it until like adventure like after adventuring like gave us an idea of like, oh, maybe it's Akron. Like she seems kind of sus. That's basically
Oh,
what he
right,
trying to
right.
say. Like he trying to make us like think, right?
Yeah, he kept
So we
making us
had to
try to
confront
doubt
her.
Acheron here because she was
Mm-hmm.
very suspicious. Or, well, he knew
Yeah,
that he was an emanator was the thing, right? But they
yeah,
didn't
he knew
know.
that she is an emanator, and like he just know that like she has secrets that she cannot explain. So like she's
Mm-hmm.
using like like her situation to his advantage. He's
Right,
a
right.
really smart dude, I have to say. Like a lot of the
He's
things
very
are
smart.
not
Like
planned, but he's good at like using his situation to his advantage.
he is, And then, so like that was kind of the end of 2.0, which is a
Mm-hmm.
very good ending, right? Also, I'm interested in the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you could choose two different endings, right? Like,
Oh
did you?
yeah,
Where it's like you don't
yeah.
have to go to adventure, and you could go a different route.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
I
could
think since we're
just
technically stuck in a time loop or so, well, sort of dream loop.
it
We're
yeah, that's what I'm confused of. I don't we still don't know like if it's actually a time loop, right?
hmm.
Like Black Swan toward the end did mention that like, oh, you've been through all of this, but like is this like have you been through all of this like it's more like in the dream, right?
Yes.
That's where you've been through all of it.
Hmm.
So like is that really a time loop, or is it more like just like kind of like the Matrix thing? I mean, I don't
Hmm.
watch a lot of the Matrix,
Well,
but I just know that like you're
yeah.
just stuck in the other world.
Hmm. Well, maybe let's go ahead and talk about 2.1 first, and then we can go and
Mm-hmm.
talk about that time loop stuff.
Sounds good.
Because in 2.1, that's where we kick off
Mm-hmm.
after we found out that everyone's dead. and essentially we're trying to figure out where everybody is or what exactly. I guess not so much where they are, but what happened to their deaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time where we actually got the multi-split like storyline, right? Where we got to control like Adventurine, Acheron, and then
Adventurine's POV, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Adventurine's, yeah. Nope, go ahead.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adventurine stuff was really interesting because he was trying to trick the family into dropping off a special stone and everything, and then from there, like, he ends up getting kind of, I don't know if you would say cursed, but well, I guess cursed, right? Because he was essentially going to die in like 24 hours or something. If
17 hours.
Yeah.
Which is basically like the time left before the Charmony Festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me see. So Adventuring POV, I find it interesting personally. A lot of people doesn't like it, apparently. A lot of people find it too long-winded.
I do
it
think
talks a lot about him, right?
Right. And I think it was the way in which they told it, right? Because it was a lot of like 2D images and you don't really know exactly what's going on. You're able to figure out eventually that they're talking about adventuring and stuff, but it's like, it's just very awkwardly placed, I felt. Like it was good lore. It was just placed at the very weird times and everything. And then it wasn't very interesting.
I think personally,
to look at.
it's necessary to be placed that way. The delivery is not necessarily the best, but I think it's the right place to put it just because you're about to kill him, right?
Well, but that's
so like they're trying to make you like empathize with him or sympathize at least. And like you cannot, like most players usually don't do that if they don't know about the background story. You know, if the character just met, you just talk, and like the first impression that everyone gets from Adventuring, like I think people call him like basically child, but like on HSR instead of Genshin.
I could see that comparison. Like, I think he's definitely
like
a lot hotter than child, but that's my own personal opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean he is. He definitely got more sass and more charisma than child. But like basically, in like if you're comparing it to like him in Genshin he got his backstory after the main story, right? So like before like when you were doing the main story, you don't really like. Okay, he's cool, but that's it. That's his value.
Yeah, it kind of felt like with child, like what was it? He was a bad guy, and then they had to like you didn't really find out his good part until afterwards, and it felt like they were just trying to redeem him to give him a reason to join the Trailblazer or no, the Travelers Party, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like Adventurine, it's like they don't really redeem him, but you understand.
It's more
him
like
better.
Explain, because you start that way. So that's I think so. I think like that's what they're trying to achieve, and that's why like they do it this way. And I think a lot of people find it boring because like since they had to obscure so much part of the story and just like while still like telling his story, like his life story, it just makes it hard. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is boring. There's so much talking, so much like slideshows, blah, blah, blah.
Although that is where we found out about Jade, and Jade looks amazing. So.
Oh, yeah. She hot.
Yes.
Especially after seeing the Lake, hell yeah.
Oh, where she like stomps on you and
yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, this girl is hot," and then Hoyo, I think, started like drip promoting her by like showing us the banner poster.
Yep.
And then after that, there's a leak of her skills, and they were like, "Oh my god, step on us, please." That's basically how everyone went. But after the Adventuring, after the Adventuring POV, we also like met Sparkle. We got cursed, as you said. I think the gamble that he was trying to make, I think it's all according to his plan, right? He was planning to get caught. He was planning to like
yes
sacrifice the stone and everything.
Yeah, that was the main thing of getting, because he wanted to get, if you look at this, like the stones, he wanted to get, because they thought his stone, which was the stone, I guess Adventuring's the name of the stone, right?
Yeah, aventurine is stainless
Yeah,
stone. He
and
also has topaz and jades.
jades. Yeah, and he wanted to get jades in there for reasons that we don't truly understand at the moment. And also,
Actually, he explained it right. When you were doing like his main story, like his
mhm.
backstory, he explained that like the only like one of the reason he has Jade's stone is because it's the only stone that is like kind of like a replacement for aventurine. It like the stone is so similar, most people like mistake it
Right,
for an
right, right.
aventurine.
But why he needed it to be there though is the question. And if you notice that like at the end of like his story arc, he like says a catchphrase that kind of activates his stone. And if I
Mm-hmm.
think Jade says a similar phrase during the story too, once he drops off the Jade stone there, like she's
Mm-hmm.
activating her cornerstone. So
Yeah.
it's like, what does that do? What does
Well,
that mean that she
that's the thing.
activated it? And
So in the 2.1,
Mhm.
that's how they're trying to explain it. The stone is just a disguise because like the only reason like Sunday didn't pay attention to his stone is because he cracked it, right?
Right, right. He broke into a bunch of pieces and
Yeah, he actually broke it, and he also has jade stone. So like when Sunday looked at the stone, it was like, oh, this is definitely his. He only has two stones because
and
like
I
there's no way
believe
someone would like crack a stone heart basically.
and I believe didn't Dr. Ratio also kind of confirm that yes, this is the adventuring stone? Like I think he was working for him sort of, but not fully.
Yeah, he was. He
Hmm.
was like after the talk and everything. He like Dr. Ratio came to him and talked about like, is it? Do you like it? Like, is everything
Hmm,
going according to
hmm.
your plan? Because he didn't really explain it to Ratio either. He just tell Ratio what he needed from him.
Right, right.
So yeah, I think that's the reason. But like then Jade also shows up in the after like 2.2 and start talking about like everything is going according to plan. So clearly there's more than just like Jade's stone being a decoy here,
Hmm,
I
hmm.
think.
Yeah, it's like, and I like I said, I think she activates it for some reason too, but we don't know why. So I think that's going to be what happens in 2.3. Well, we'll have to
I
see.
mean, I
I think
hope so. I
2.1
they
is
better
where
be
we
explaining a
also,
lot.
yeah, 2.1 is where we also learned that Gallagher is only 13, but
That's true.
no, but actually he was saying that because I think people were saying it's supposed to be a reference to the Arcana 13, which is death. And
Yeah,
he's going around like quote unquote
technically
killing
he's
people.
going around quote unquote killing people, but what like also, but at the same time, I wonder if it's like if he actually mean it. You know, I sometimes I wonder if
He
he
could
just,
be
oh yeah,
because
I'm
his
13 Amber
appearance.
eras, or I'm 13 years because like I've been waiting for you for 13 years.
That's the thing too, because we don't exactly know how long the Watchmaker's been gone for, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
know that Gallagher's appearance is completely fabricated. He stole every bit of himself from somebody else within the dream,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we don't know how old that makes him, but it made it sound like he was around for, and especially with the Lycone that we recently got too, right? He was
Mm-hmm.
around when the Watchmaker was younger.
So my theory is Gallagher used to be a real person. I think he explained it toward like 2.2 when you were
Mm-hmm.
talking with him, how like he became a follower of Enigmata. So
Right, right.
he changed himself into like a historiofictionologist in order to like achieve his ambition.
That may not be.
And like when he changed that, when he followed that path, he recreated himself and like snuck in basically.
Mm.
That's what I
Have you
think
have you
personally.
come across any of the dog statues recently in this patch?
I have. I still don't know what it's used for.
So,
I think it's because I haven't found all of them.
right, I haven't found them all either, but some people were thinking that Gallagher might actually be a dog, because if you look at his voice lines, he mentions himself as a dog a lot. Like even when he's talking to Sunday, it's like, "Oh, you're just beating this old dog to the ground. You're like taking out my teeth and just like," and he always like is like barking and
As a
woofing,
hound and stuff. Yeah.
right? And in the like the opening cinematic that they, or that AMV music video that they did for 2.0. I don't know if you ever saw that one, but
Is it the White Knight?
yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've
In
watched a
that,
couple of times. I didn't really pay attention that closely though.
yeah, but in there's like a scene where there's like this creature that's on the ground that has a nose that could kind of be a dog, and it runs into Misha, causing all the suitcases to fall over. And then instantly in the next scene, you see Gallagher, like after all the suitcases fall down. So a lot of people are like, maybe there's some kind of connection there where Gallagher is actually like a dog and this human form is just the appearance he took. So it's hard to say.
That would make sense. That somewhat makes sense, but I feel like he's a real person just because like if you remember in the flashback in 2.2, he actually like talks with Mikhail.
Yeah, he does.
And like you and in that slideshow, they showed an actual person talking to Mikhail. So like I wonder. It's like somewhat ambiguous, I know, but like we got
It is
both.
very.
We got technically we have evidence for both sides, which that's like quite funny. I find like maybe he just turns out to be both. He's a man that can turn into a dog,
Or maybe just some sort of intelligent dog creature, or like even it's a little bit unknown too, because like a lot of the stuff in the dreamscape that originate from the dreamscape are getting personality, right? Like all the there's like boss enemies that we had to make drinks for in the last patch.
the boss enemies.
Or not the like troop, I think they call them like the troop A.
The Sweet Dream Troop.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah.
And how
What
we were
about
making drinks for them, and they all have like their own personalities and stuff now, right? So maybe Gallagher could be like one of those things too. Because I don't think we've ever seen him outside of the dream, correct?
No, yeah, we never seen him out of the dream.
We've never seen him outside, and he has the ability to mess with people's minds inside of the dream. Because if you notice, like, I don't think he's actually working for the Hounds or is actually like one of the main bar people, but he's able to trick people or mess with their minds into thinking that he's actually working there. So I don't know, I feel like he might be an origin of Penacony, but it's hard to say.
Is it possible that maybe he really actually worked there? Because like if he's been there for like a while, he could possibly just be like, saw Sioban and like gets interested with drinks and stuff. So like he's just because like Sioban mentioned, it's possible that like this is all his power, like his power at work, but it could also be like the truth that Sioban just met him one day and like he offered himself to like help out with making drinks.
But what finds me interesting is that when she was talking to him during the story about that, she made it sound like he was the boss. But then when you did the story for the bartender stuff, the Troupe people made it seem like it was actually the other way around, where Saban was the boss, or I don't know how to exactly say her name, but like she was the boss, and Gallagher might have just been like I don't know. They didn't even mention him, I don't think. So
yeah, they never mention him.
So it's like that's where I'm thinking like he just worked himself into there and made her think that he's actually like been working there for a long time or something.
That is plausible, is what I would say.
Yeah, because
let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's a lot of this in this game that is not yet explained.
Right, because in 2.3, that's when we go and find out that there's essentially we've been stuck in a. Do we want to say like a loop?
2.2.
Yeah, sorry, 2.2. I keep thinking we're like ahead of one extra patch. But no, that's when we find out that we've been inside of a dream loop, sort of, which is why like at the beginning of this whole story arc, we met Acheron, and she knew about a lot of stuff, right? Like she knew about how to walk on walls. She knew about the Penacony stuff, and she asked us the same questions that she asked us at the end of this story. And it's like
I think it's not necessarily that she was free from the influence. I think it's just she's aware she's being influenced. Like she mentioned that she's since she's a follower of nihility,
Hmm.
other path doesn't really doesn't affect her that much. But like she's not saying she's completely like immune
Right,
to
right,
it.
right. But
And
at
like
that
we
point,
also
she
see
had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
we also see that like at the first time when we met her, she actually got stuck in the memory too. So like it's not like she cannot be affected. It's just like the effect is like a lesser degree, and like she actually aware that she's being affected.
Right, right, right.
Well, what was you going to say again?
No, no. I think that was kind of the main thing because, like, the being stuck in a dream thing kind of explains a lot of stuff because there were some, like, I didn't realize this until some people brought it up, but there were some dialogue options that if you went with them, like, for instance, when you first meet Acheron inside of the, like, dreamscape, like for the real first time, not like the first time on the train, but when you're actually in Penacony, like there's an option where Acheron can be like, oh, can I join you and Black Swan on your adventures or whatever? And you can deny that. But when you go to deny it, your character can't actually deny it. Right? And it's like, it's this weird thing of like your character actually ends up accepting even against your own wishes. So it's like,
Like it's predetermined, you mean?
right. So
Like,
that's
it's,
where it like felt like
fixed?
predetermined. And some people were thinking that maybe Acheron was actually an emanator for somebody else other than the Nihility. But that would make sense if this isn't a dream where it's like you're following a script because the dream was more or less trying to follow your journey through Penacony, right? With some slight alterations like Misha showing up a little bit too early, Don Hung showing up with Genuine, which that was so cool, by the way. That cinematic.
That was so cool, but like I already knew it was something was really off. Well, no, actually during that part I didn't know it was off. As soon
I
as
didn't
like
either.
that battle ended, I immediately knew it was off.
Like I was
It's like they hinted it so much.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling too, but I was so pissed off though because I'm like, Don Hung, do not waste that thing summoning the Shinjo here. It's like it is too early. We just got that. Do not waste this thing right now.
Well,
So
for me,
was
I was
so
like,
glad that
yeah,
it did.
it makes sense. Like it makes sense the way they deliver it is that like this is a life and death situation. So like that's why they had to do it. At the same time, as soon as like they started, like as soon as like
Nope.
I
Hello
beginning
there.
like
Thank you for
finished the
stopping
fight
by, and
like
also
we
thank you,
woke up
Dark and
and
Happy as
everything,
well.
I'm already like starting like, that battle ends way too fast. First of all, because like there's only one phase,
Right, right.
and like he's super weak. And then like second of all, like they were lauding us as like the hero.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you
And-
remember, all the talk was like how like you're the star of the show and everything, and like this game never does that. Like the game thinks the game acts as if like you're important, but not the main show. Like when, for example, like when we were talking in like in the Yarolo 6, for example, like we saved the planet, but we were just a bystander, right? That's what
right.
Himeko told us.
And even then, it wasn't us that did it. It was the Trailblazers, right? Like as a group, not us individually.
They mentioned not us individually. Like she applaud our effort and stuff. Like we put a big contribution for like a first timers and stuff. But like we're not really the star of the show. But like in this, in the ending, the first ending that they gave us, they were like, "Oh my god, like it's all because of you. Like you're like so important and stuff." And like this is kind of sus.
It was. And on a little bit of a side tangent though, like that animation when they did show up with Don Hung and Genuine, it was really cool. And
really
also,
cool.
Do you think that could be a future mechanic where you could do combo attacks with some of your units?
That would make a lot of sense. I think it would make a lot of sense on some characters that are shown to be friendly with each other, like actual friends, like Jingyan and Danhun, for example. It's gonna sound like it's kind of pay to win because like basically you're gonna have to have two
right?
5-star characters, right? But at the same time, lore wise, it makes sense. Like if you have those two, usually like we all know that like some characters have specific voice line with certain characters.
Yes.
So like I find it like if they have got like if they can banter, like then like they can probably do some combos. I think a lot
That
of people will like fight back against it though, just because of like how pay to win that would be.
unless they make some of the 4-star ones like really good too.
They
But
gotta
it
make the
would
4
definitely
stars
be
really
very
good.
cool.
Either
Oh, hello
that
there,
or
friend.
like,
Welcome.
oh, I don't know
We're
how
just talking
else you
about
can
lore
make
and
it.
everything at the
It's like
moment.
that. They definitely don't want to make like the 5 stars to be easier to get than it already is. It's
I
already
don't
pretty
get
easy to get.
why does MiHoYo not want to do that though? Because like every other gacha game I've played, after a new 5-star comes out, they usually get put back into the standard banner, right? And MiHoYo is like the only company I've seen that doesn't do that. And instead they only do like the limited time stuff. So
my experience with gacha games are pretty limited. So like, my opinion is gonna be like from someone that rarely plays gacha games, but I think it's more somewhat of like a business decision to like give it like a FOMO vibe. Like if you like, for example, like if you have the character, like if all like their content is not as easily churned out as other gacha games like FGO or like Azure Lane and stuff. Those are all like 2D games, right? 2D mobile games that like gets updated more frequently and has bigger update. They've been like around for longer, I think, than like MiHoYo as a company. And they had like hundreds of characters, right? Like
oh,
I
that's
think
actually
FGO
really
has
cool,
like
yeah.
hundreds of characters. So like
I'll have to give that
putting
a
like
try and
some of
see.
like the old special character banner on like the standard makes sense because they have so much that they just couldn't like put all of those characters into like character banners. So like
But
people gotta
like
like people need to have like some other way to get it. But like on Hoyo games, you don't have as much characters. So like they're
I don't
gonna it's both as like a way to like make it more special and also to like recycle content in a way, like rerun banners.
I don't know, but I feel like if you I don't know, my gut's telling me like if you like maybe keep them FOMO like you said, but after they do a rerun, it's like why not just add them back into the standard banner?
So
right?
they can
And
keep
then,
doing reruns. Like Genshin, for example, like some characters has like two
right,
to three reruns, right?
but you see, you could put it into the standard banner, and then every couple months you can sell a pick ticket that lets anyone pick a random character out there and sell it for like $30, and then you're guaranteed to get $30 at least from everybody every couple months. Like
They don't want $30; they want 100. That's why they sell it so much. That's why they put the price so high on the gems.
but then you're only yeah, I know. Maybe it's just the fact that it's like I feel like dolphins and other smaller people get cut out a lot.
This
It's
is
like,
very aimed at like the higher tier of
right,
spending.
right. And
I think they're trying to maintain like some sort of like it's kind of like how like some companies that are like quote unquote smaller usually it's more generous, and companies that are bigger, even if they knew they're not gonna get as much people buying it, they're gonna still like trying to keep that kind of like quote unquote prestige. Like because like obviously like if we wanna talk about the business side of thing, so far MiHoYo is basically the only one that ever made games like Genshin Impact,
yeah,
like
yeah.
a gacha
Like
action RPG 3D with open world and stuff. Like there's no other game. Like Wuthering Waves is coming next week, but like
which we're
until
both looking
now,
forward to.
yeah, there wasn't anything. So like technically they're monopoly. Like there's no one else that can like set the price for them. So they just set the price for themselves. And like building like contents for this kind of game is like I'm not trying to justify like their lack of content right now. Like I've heard a lot of complaints that Genshin is lacking content in the past few patch.
Yes.
They're not doing
I've heard that a lot
updates
too.
on the
Like I
Archon
haven't
Quest. Yeah.
I haven't played
But at the
since
same time,
the end of the Archon Quest,
yeah,
but I have heard that that's the case right now.
yeah, it's been a while. A lot of people are complaining, and it will make sense given like the scale of the company. But I also understand that like the game itself is harder to like, because like when you build content for the game, a new content,
and they're also adding in
3D
like
model. It's just more investment, more commitment.
Right, and they're also adding in new worlds and everything. Like with Star Rail, it's a very limited map that they're adding in, right? So adding in a new zone
Star
or
Rail
two is
like
it's like
Genshin on like a lower scale. So like it's much more doable, and also it's part of the game design, I think, because the game is so limited in exploration. You gotta give something else for the people to play.
Right,
That's why they
because it's
keep
like we
coming
don't
up with like new game modes.
right, and I know
Like
a lot of
new
people don't like it,
challenges.
but I think the
Hmm.
not being able to jump in Star Rail does help them a lot when it comes to testing, right? Because it's one less thing to have to test to make sure your players don't accidentally, glitch out of a area or something. So,
Yep. It's definitely like less
mhm.
intensive than like Genshin. And I think that's
And
also why they just have more variation in game modes, like the drink making
mm,
drinks and stuff like that. Like Genshin tried to do that with the web event. I hate that web event, the one where you make drinks. I love the one on
I
like HSR. I hate the one on the
I
Genshin.
I don't like any of the web events, to be honest. I wish they would just put them in game. Like I hate always having to go to somewhere else, like for stuff.
Yeah, it has some drawbacks and some good sides too. The good side is that like you don't really have to open the game to do it. And like the downside is obviously if you love playing the game, you must open something else now.
Right, right, right.
But like the good side is like a lot of people doesn't have to like really opening the game and like downloading updates and then entering the game can blow some people's phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Obviously,
I find
because
it
like
so
most phones
annoying on the
couldn't
phone. Yep.
handle it. So like
Hmm.
they put it as a web event in a way so like people can like do it on the road or something, right?
Hmm.
If like they don't have a good phone, for example. And I think that makes sense, but also I can see why I personally hate it because I want to do things in the game and not in my
Yep.
browser.
Well, and it's like for me, it's like I usually access it by opening up the game first, hitting that like
And then
special
pressing
event
the
thing.
link in
Yep,
in
yep.
the game. That is
Yeah.
really
So,
funny.
but yeah, I think we got a little bit sidetracked there. 'Cause you were still talking about
Yeah.
like what the end of the story and everything with all the time loops and everything.
I think we were
'Cause-
we were jumping quite a bit around the 2.2. We haven't
Mhm.
really talked about like how Firefly ended up meeting us, that like she's still alive. We only mentioned
Oh
that
yeah,
she's
yeah,
dead
yeah.
earlier.
Right, because
So
we were talking a little bit earlier about her having the 3 deaths, or supposedly 3 deaths, but we've only seen 2 so far. And then also like, let's see what else. So like we met her back in that real, what they call the real Penacony, right? The
yeah, I think that
what
it's
was
more
it, the
like a
Coral
limbo,
Reef or
like the
something?
one where we met her. Just
Hmm.
because like it doesn't seem like the real world. But I
Right,
don't know.
right.
She mentioned that we just woke up from the real world, so like I don't know. Can't really debate against the the actual game character, I guess.
Hmm. But yeah, so there was like, so we met her in that reef area, which is where we also met Robin again, and we found out like I think everybody knew that both of them weren't dying. Because like when they announced Robin as a character, you knew she wasn't dead, right? So but yeah, so like we met the both of them, and then that's when we find out that like here's a question: did you think Sunday was truly evil, or because like I thought going into patch 2.3 or 2.2 that Sunday wasn't going to be the bad guy and that there might be some bigger bad, which I was sort of right in I think they called him the Dream Maker, right? Or the Dream Weaver?
The Dream Master.
The Dream Master, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was right in that there was a bigger bad, but I didn't think that Sunday would be as evil as he kind of ended up being until I started playing the game, and then like instantly I'm like, no, this guy, there's something up with him.
I already like suspect him a lot. The way he talks and stuff seems kind of like, especially when he mentioned 3 faces. I thought like, are we talking about like the god from like Sigonia, like the Gayatra or something? Because like that's
What do you
like
mean
that
3
one.
faces of what?
Like, cause like you remember like in the 2. I personally started playing on 2.1, so like I'm gonna talk from the perspective that
Yeah, yeah.
in the 2.1 they were like made their 3 faces. Like when he
Yeah, yeah.
when he started talking in the priestly manner, he started talking about like made their 3 faces guide like kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
bless
that's
you or
because
something like that.
the God of Harmony has 3 faces.
No, Sepia doesn't have 3 faces.
She does.
Where? Wait,
Well,
Sepia
hang
the
on.
Harmony.
Let me try to pull. Yeah, I'm almost positive she
No,
has
like
3 faces.
in her image, it's just one.
Are you
Oh,
sure? I'm
wait,
pretty sure there's
actually.
2 on the side.
Oh wait, yeah, there is 2 on the side. Never mind. I didn't see
but
the
it
two on the
is
side. It's
it is weird that power that he was using to control Argenti, right? Or not Argenti,
Argent.
Adventuring.
Aventurine.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
that was definitely not Harmony like. And that
I think they're trying to make it seem like it's the Harmony with like all the color effects and stuff.
right. But a lot of people are like, that's not the way the Harmony would act normally.
Anna the Order is also three. I think. Wait, Anna is not three faces. Oh, okay.
She has one, but she also has a giant eye watching her, which is a little creepy.
I find it cool. Because like it's the Order, right? So like you gotta like in order to have order. I know that sounds like a pun. But like in order to have order, you have to have someone that is like a higher being watching over, preventing us from like violating the order.
Right. I see what you're going with there.
I also like when they're talking about three faces though, my because like I didn't like this is me. I guess that's my fault. I didn't like pay attention that Sepia has like three faces. But I thought for a moment that it's the god that like mentioned in like Aventurine's story. Because like the prayer that he used is always like
I could
maybe
see
there are
that.
three faces. Yeah.
Because what was that god called again?
Now that's the thing. I don't know.
And it was weird, right? Because the god was supposed like, I'll have to do some research on that to see if that is actually like an Aeon or if it's just a made up god that they went with. Because is there any other god with three faces? Let me see. Ahas? Well, he has a bunch of mass. I don't know if you'd say that's.
I mean, it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's called Gayatra. Oh, close her eyes 3 times. Okay, that's not so like the prayer doesn't mention it. I don't know why my brain just go there.
No, but it's a good thought, right? Because you just went off of the Adventurine story and everything, and I could see how. Because like, here's actually a question with Adventurine, right? Because we know that because of that god, he was blessed with amazing luck and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Acheron kill him at the end of the story, which is supposed to like, but her blade is supposed to be like super sharp and be able to like sever like a lot of stuff. So do you think he still has his luck, or did Acheron get rid of that when she cut him down?
I think she gave him the option, because when she was doing it, she like I think the slash that she did to him doesn't really do any of this like connection severing stuff. She offered to do that after that like she can do it if he wants it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think he really answered it directly, I think.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting. I like how they ended the 2.2 story, right? Where it's like Adventurine's like, so do you think I'm getting a promotion or being fired or whatever? And they were like, oh, you make a bet. And it's like, I bet the outcome of that bet is going to show whether or not his luck is still intact. Because he wagered that he would get a promotion. So if he's correct.
That's true. He did do that. But at the same time, Jake didn't really answer. It was like, oh, you're going to have to meet Diamond.
Right. Which, by the way, Diamond, they're building Diamond up to be like this amazing guy, right? Like,
I mean, Diamond is supposed to be an emanator, so it makes sense.
Oh, is he? Okay.
So I think from what I've read, in the 10 stone hearts, Diamond is the actual emanator, and like he just gives his power to the 10 stone hearts.
And that's where like the cornerstones.
He lends his power. It's the same. It's the same as Saritza, like giving like her harbinger.
Or
powers.
Like kind of. I think that's what essentially Duke Inferno was doing, right, with his group. Because I think Duke Inferno was an emanator to a destruction, right? And then he had his like.
No, Duke Inferno is not a destruction. Like the Annihilation Gang, right?
Yeah. Was he not an emanator, or was he just a worshiper?
The gang. No, he was just someone that's trying to get. He's trying to become an emanator. I think he's trying to get the gaze.
Okay. But he never got it, because we know that Nanook has several emanators, right? Because Fantilia was one of them. And I thought he was supposed to have at least a couple more. But I don't know if we ever. I don't think we've heard anything else about them. And so
Like
that's
the
where I
other
thought
Lord
Duke
Ravager?
Inferno. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
One of them died. We all know about that.
Wait,
Was
which one?
killed by like the three nameless from the watchmaker from the Pentacony, right? The second,
Is
so
it?
like you know how like in the store in the 2.2 they mentioned about the three nameless that stays in Pentacony.
Right.
So like the girl, I forgot the name of the girl, but like the girl died from like exploring the Memoria zone, like the black
No.
hole, like the big Memoria black hole.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I
She was
thought,
trying and trying to do research on that. The second one
well,
died fighting Lord Ravager.
the Ravager is
They
a
win.
different Aeon, though, right? Yeah. And
No,
he
Lord
wasn't
Ravager is the Emanator of Destruction. It's our Lord
really. I
Ravagers.
thought it was
Yeah,
Propagation is what he died to. Maybe that was my bad. I read that. I was reading that as the Propagation one.
I thought he died killing Lord Ravager Zulu or something. Because I remember joking about how that guy sounds like the villain from Avatar.
Oh, maybe. You see, I read it more as he got a surprise attack from the Swarm, and the Swarm killed him. But maybe I would have to go and rewatch that, because like the girl died trying to research Nihility, right? Which is what, because she wanted to research Nihility for the memory zone stuff, and then,
Yeah,
I should
no,
have paid way closer attention to that. Yeah. Let me see. Can we pull them up now that we've actually?
Okay, so
beaten-
I think like the fight happens like is that like they win against Zulu, like the Lord Ravager, and then the survivor of like those fight died after that. Because like
Okay.
I think they never mentioned Tiernan as dead until the end, where like Akron talked with him. But like in the story, it was mentioned that Tiernan disappears because like both of the two characters were never mentioned as dead. The only one that we know actually dies at first was like the Watchmaker because like there's the literal
Right.
corpse there. And then like in the story, like as we progress, we ended up knowing that like the old guy that was talking with Akron was Tiernan.
No.
So like that means he died too.
No. Oh, yes. Because he ends up joining the Galaxy Rangers and everything, right? Was the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we had the yeah. I'm remembering that now.
So like the only one that we don't know whether like they died or not is like the girl. Because like they never mentioned her fate.
I thought they mentioned like she died
Brasilina, I think.
going to like
no,
the
they mentioned
Nihility
they mentioned she was gone after searching for like the like getting into the memory zone to like find the secrets of the dreamscape.
Was it the
She
memory
just never
zone?
heard it.
Or I thought she went to go into the like Nihility black hole for exploration on that memory zone and stuff, but
no, it's the memories. Well, no,
Okay.
that's not a Nihility black hole. Like in it's a memory zone black hole, like inside like the ones in the dream flux. That's a memory zone thingy. The one that was dying from a memory zone from a like a Nihility black hole is another girl that like Akron talked about, like her friend.
Okay. Yep.
The one that she met and like befriended with for like a month or something.
Okay. I thought that
She
maybe
ended
those two
diving
might have
into
been the same,
Nihility.
but yeah. I guess we never did really learn what her real name was.
No, I think somewhere in the wiki they mention about like a certain like they have a name for her, for like the person that actually dived into
The black hole.
the IX and like died and like disappears.
Which I was so disappointed that they called it IX. I thought the name was going to be 9. And
It would make more
nope,
sense.
It's IX. I guess he was just too lazy and couldn't count, right?
Okay. Here's the name. I found it on Google. It's
Okay.
the one that died. It's called Free Bass.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
called Free
that's
Bass.
somebody completely
Like
different. Yeah.
yeah, the stuff that like one of like her relics are like her stuff that she used is basically the relic that Akron used. Like if you want to build her,
right.
those are stuff from like Free Bass. Yeah.
And that's why it's like a space suit.
Yeah, it looks like a suit for like diving and stuff.
Right,
It looks
right.
like one of those like old like helmets for
Scuba,
diving and stuff.
Okay. And speaking of artifacts, it's funny that we're essentially wearing Duke Inferno, right, for one of them, like the follow-up set.
Yep. But like, yeah, Duke Inferno not really an Emanator. He's trying though. That's why like when you see the cutscenes,
Mhm.
when like he was fighting Akron, he was
That's
like
why he just
she
died so
tells him
easily.
about like
Yeah.
no, not that he dies so easily. Like he's strong, but like he's not as strong as an Emanator because like he doesn't
Mhm.
have the power of the pad, right? He's
Right,
just
right.
trying to get the attention of the Aeon. But like she mentioned, like you know that like doing all of this doesn't like it's not gonna attract his gaze,
Mhm.
like their gaze. And he was like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't care. I'm gonna live like the way I like the way the pad is supposed to be. Like he's just gonna follow the pad regardless,
Right, right.
hoping to get the gaze eventually." But like I guess they stopped. He's like she stopped them
Mhm.
from ever doing that. Maybe she didn't kill the rest of them. She just
Right,
killed
right,
him.
right. So and there's been rumors that the rest of the team might become playable. Like I really thought that we were going to see the uh I don't know if it was a violin, but the guy that had the giant musical instrument, because I think they mentioned that his target was supposed to be the target of Harmony, is who he was supposed to take down. And so I thought we would meet him in Penacony and maybe he would try to mess things up, but he hasn't shown up at all yet. So
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna show up like right now because the ship was wrecked by her, right? We
right,
saw
right,
like how like
right. I
everything
mean,
was burning when like she
mm,
was fighting and like everyone was knocked out. So
yeah.
like by the
So
like she meant like it was mentioned is what happened. So like I'm assuming they're not gonna come now at least. They might come after this. Maybe on
right.
2.3 they're gonna come
Well, and they
like
might show
late
up
to
on
the
the new
party.
world too, right? Because and it's gonna be
We
weird,
don't
right?
even know
Because are they
which
going to
new
be
world it's
bad
gonna
guys or
be.
are they going to be like not necessarily good guys, but are they going to be like the Stellaron hunters, right? Where
Um, I think they're gonna be more. I'm assuming it's gonna be bad. There might
hmm,
be more nuance to that, but I think in general they're gonna be the bad guy just because like they're following the path of destruction, right?
right?
I don't know about the kids, like the guy that died, obviously like follow
Hmm.
it like a zealot, like a cultist, like a fanatic,
But maybe they
basically.
could be
Even
like
though like
Team
he doesn't
Rocket,
have a
right?
power.
Where it's like yeah, they're the bad guy, but they're the lovable
Like
kind of
yeah,
bad guy.
the thing is like we don't know like the kids,
Hmm.
like his kids like temperament, personality and stuff because like I think like there are a couple scenes like especially like in the continuance from like Herta space station,
Hmm.
like the one where we first met Duke Inferno.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Hmm.
think like it
Yep.
shows like some of the kids talking and stuff, like they seem kind of chaotic
They do. Yeah,
just
yeah.
like their the parents, but like
Hmm.
we'll never know until we actually meet them.
And I do hope they do become playable characters because that'll be fun. Because some of those
Oh yeah,
designs were so cool. I thought Duke
there's
Inferno
actual
was really cool
designs.
too.
I didn't know there's actual
Oh yeah,
designs.
yeah. Here, let me send you because they actually released these guys ahead of time. Like, so we knew about these guys even before Penacony because this was what they did. Actually, I think when
Oh yeah, because like
uh
they were mentioned in the Herta space station, so obviously like yeah,
yeah,
I can
yeah,
see
it was
them
like
like
I think before that patch came out, they released this trailer and it was like so cool. Let me go and get it for you. But yeah, we see what all of them look like.
mm-hmm.
And one of them is like a girl that controls this giant puppet. It's Honkai Star Rail. Man, they've released a lot of videos over. Oh, here it is. And I think you'll probably like one of the characters. I think it's Constance.
Oh, the Myriad Celestia, Scene 33, Night of Everflame.
But yeah, so we know
Oh,
what they all look like.
I
We just
didn't.
don't know what exactly they're gonna be up to.
I see. I don't really watch a lot of these trailers. Not gonna lie.
No, okay.
which is really funny.
I think you
It's like
should
I
watch that
sometimes
just
enjoy
to
them, but
see,
like also
because
sometimes they're like a spoiler.
hmm
So that's why I was like, hmm.
well, that was the thing too, because you know the whole thing about when we were seeing Firefly and Blade talking in a car.
Hmm.
Like that whole scene happened right before another trailer that they had.
Yeah,
Um,
The
yeah, the Cquel
Japella.
uprising and everything, and that was
Hmm.
a trailer that I'm like, I recognized that right away, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool to see that, because then it
Because
makes
like they're
sense
wearing
why.
the suits and stuff.
Right, and it makes sense why Sam's was so destroyed, right? Because it was meant to fit Firefly and not Sam. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that was really cool. So we'll have to
Yeah, I
see. I
really
do
enjoyed
wish that
how
they
they're
would put that
using.
stuff in game though, in instead of outside. But you know, we'll have to see. I'm interested to see what Weather and Wage will do as far as that stuff's concerned. But
Let's hope the story part doesn't disappoint. I
hmm,
know that when Genshin started, the story was really solid.
it was yeah,
Like
because
I haven't played that long, like I haven't played that far, so I couldn't
hmm,
say anything for like the later parts of the story. But
yeah, because it's like
the
if I'm
first part, when I
remembering,
started playing, it was really interesting.
yeah, because Mondstadt was very cool, and then
It's a bit small, but like yeah, it's
hmm,
really solid. The storyline, it's a bit simple. It's just like Euro 6. It's like the story is solid, but
hmm,
also like it's like really predictable. You can kind of see where it's going and stuff.
yeah, and then the leeway was also good too. It just took a while, and I personally stopped after a month or two originally of playing Genshin, and then I came back when Inazuma was out. So I was able to go
I'm the
through it
other
all
way.
at
I
once.
stopped
But
when Inazuma came.
oh, you did?
I stopped like around a month before Inazuma came because like I already
Okay,
played
okay.
everything. I don't want to grind. I finished the
Hmm.
story. There's nothing else to do.
I thought the
So
Inazuma story was good, but also very rushed. Kind of like how, in my opinion, the Lafu was too. Like I feel like the Lafu story was very rushed and didn't quite.
yeah, I haven't played like above Inazuma and
Mm,
more, so like, I couldn't really like attest to anything. But I definitely know that Shenchou Luofu has yeah, it's a I can like they managed to salvage it somehow,
they
but like
did,
it I
yeah.
can definitely tell that there's a lot of stuff that could have been explained way better.
Well, it's like I think there was two kind of
It feels
there's
like
two
a
problems
filler
that I
patch,
had
which is
with
not
it,
supposed
and
to be.
yeah, I think one of the issues that they had is that I think they may have changed the direction of that during it because there was a
I
lot of
remember
feedback.
there was a different writer that was doing it. That's why it's all a mess.
Maybe
And then like they
maybe I don't
had
remember
like
that,
the
but I do
writer.
remember a lot of players didn't like the I think it's Sanctus Medicus, right? They didn't like that plot line because I think when you probably got into Star Rail, there was a whole side quest with the Sanctus Medicus stuff, but that was mandatory when people would first go through it, and they didn't like that, and so they had to
Oh, it was
change things up.
mandatory.
Yes, it used to be
Oh,
mandatory.
when I played, it's an optional thing.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you play it, you get
Mhm.
a achievement. If you don't get it, you get a different achievement.
Right. So I think they had to change what they were going to do, but I also just felt it was kind of bad because like they didn't do a good job of hinting at stuff. Like, because like in 1.0, I was able to figure out that yeah, Don Hong is like a Vidyadhara and everything because of he has this extra knowledge about the Vidyadhara and everything, and he was supposed like and they mentioned this trial and everything that the Vidyadhara have to go through to get their dragon form and stuff. And so like I thought how the story would kind of go into Lafu was that we would see Don Hung go through that story, and maybe the reason why Don Hung left the Xianzhou Lafu and why Blade was after him is because maybe him and Blade had originally tried to do that trial before in the past. They both ended up failing. For some reason, Don Hung or Blade blames Don Hung for that failure and rivalry, but then they'll go through the trial again, they'll make up, and then he gets this superpower that saves the day and everything. But then they didn't really do that. They just like, nope, I'm already overpowered, and it's like,
I'm already over. I mean that makes sense. Dan Heng was supposed to be like one of the most prominent like
well, it
before
makes
like in
sense
his past
now,
life.
but we wouldn't have known about any of that, right, going into it. So
Hmm.
it's like, I don't know. I feel like they maybe could have built that up a little bit better, but
Well, yeah, I guess it's kind of
It's
hard to get like my judgment from it because I got the judgment after they tried to fix the game, right?
right,
I
right.
got it from. I mean, I played in like 2.1, as I said. But like a lot of the complaint probably comes from like I don't know which update
Right,
when
right, doing
Shenzhou
it all
Luofu
in once.
comes. Mm-hmm.
I also think that it also gave off a lot of the kind of Breath of the Wild sort of feel, if you know what I mean, where it's like all the cool parts of the story already happened. And we're kind of seeing the end because it's like, all the cool stuff with like Inhibitor, Lune, Danheng, and then
Yeah, I don't play I don't play Zelda either, but like I
okay.
definitely understand what you're trying to say. Like
Hmm.
that, like oh, like the past events was awesome, but like it's all in the past.
Right, right, right.
Like how the five heroes of like Xianqiu Luofu and stuff.
Hmm.
And now like what you're saying, it definitely gives me like Elden Ring vibes. Like how like when you're
Ooh.
fighting a god, you're fighting the
Hmm.
god after past their prime. Like the god is like kind of rotting, the god is dying, the god is like this and that. But like when you see the lower story, they were like, oh, these gods back then
Hmm.
they can like destroy the sky and like hold the stars and stuff like that. And like now you're fighting like them at their weakest, basically.
Hmm. But at least it was still kind of cool, and maybe that's how they also kind of saved it too, right? Because it's like we did get to see a cool fight with Fentilia and everything, and also
Yeah. I that's something I want to talk about actually.
hmm.
There is a conversation in the end of 2.2 where they're talking about how like I don't know, it's kind of like reference as if like oh, by the way, my chat says hi to you.
Oh, hello. Hello there,
Yeah,
everyone from Conchat.
I just want to mention that
Hmm.
back to the thing. They mentioned how like Jing Yan was like an emanator of like Hun, and I'm like, ain't no
That
way.
was, yeah. I heard that mentioned. I'm
No.
like, I don't think they ever said that at any point.
I don't
So,
think
like,
they
is
ever
that like a
said that.
new
And
thing?
like he's not strong enough to be called an emanator.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's the thing. Because
Although,
like sure, like they can be like they like in Xianzhou Luofu, he might be like this one of the strongest now.
hmm.
But like if he's an emanator, then like why would he need us to fight Fantilia? He's just gonna wreck her
Right.
ass.
On top of that, he's only one of like, because the Xianzhou La Fu, they have like multiple different ships, right? And he's just one of like, I
Mm-hmm.
think 12 different ships or
Yeah,
something.
that's no. I think there's like 10 of them, and like
Yeah.
he's the strongest in this ship. That's why like he's the
Right, right.
general of the Xianzhou Luofu. So like there's another Xianzhou out there. There's like
Hmm.
9 more or something.
Yeah. And it's like, the one thing though that I did find interesting, I think a lot of people maybe missed, was so Fentilia herself. She is a heliobi, I think, is what
Oh,
they
6.
strongly
There's
hint
actually
at.
6 ships.
Oh, six.
Xianzhou
Okay, okay.
Alliance is like 6 ships.
And for some reason, I feel like because we know that there's at least five other dragons too, right? Have you seen that trailer where they're naming all of the different dragons that are also on the other ships?
Nope, I haven't.
Here, yeah, let me send you that one because one of them is also the one of wind, and I believe its name was Venti. So it'll be interesting to see what it ends up looking like because doesn't Venti look different? Like, because Venti in Genshin's a guy, but I think in Honkai Impact they're actually a girl. So it'll be
Wait,
interesting to see what they decide to go with in this one, or if it even looked anything like Venti. And
there's
it's just
definitely a lot of like Honkai references.
yes, yes,
I think like what some of the references that I saw was like when well told us that like we're S rank. I think that's like that ranking system that
yes,
like
yes, yes. I saw
Honkai
that. I was
use.
like, my I had to confirm that with my chat too because I'm like, that's what Honkai is referring to, right? And they're like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I never played the game, but this is definitely a reference to that game.
Yep, yep.
And then like I think there's a lot of oh man, I remember so much yesterday, and then I fell asleep, and then I forgot.
Yeah, because you
I
powered
forgot a
through
lot of
everything
things.
last
I
last
powered through
night,
everything
right?
until that 5 a.m. It's not even last night. It's this morning, guys. I play like some people played it longer. It took me I'd say it took me around 8 hours in total, give or take. because I played it
Yeah,
2 times. I played like 3 hours or something last night, 3.5, and then like 5 more hours until 5 a.m.
yeah, I know it definitely took me quite a while, but I think I went through it a little bit slowly too. So
Yeah, some people seems to be going it slowly. At first, I was thinking of like exploring things as I go, and then I was like, you know what? I need to
yep.
finish the story. It's getting late.
I feel like I always start doing that too, and then I'm just like, yeah, no, I just need to finish this. Because it's like I want to get all the chests and everything and try to complete stuff, but then
Oh
which is
yeah,
gonna
I wanted to, but
which is why I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for Wuthering Waves, because like I want to do the story, because I think we had to go through all the story, right, to try to complete that. But then it's like I also want to explore the world, but then do I get too sidetracked? But
now
we'll
on open world games,
mm-hmm.
this is me, but on open world games, what I would usually do is before I start the game, I open the whole map.
Like you see, like I feel like in open world games, I am very goal oriented. So like if I'm doing a quest, I am just going directly to that quest, maybe picking up
Now,
the waypoint so I can teleport.
I don't like open world game that doesn't have main story at all. I
Right,
think
right.
nowadays, I used to love them as a kid, but nowadays I don't have that much time, and I need like
Mm-hmm.
general direction to go at least. So
Yeah.
I love like when the game actually has a main story. It's like Skyrim. You have a main story, but you don't have to follow them. You can
Mhm.
explore.
Yeah, I
That's
just
the
think
kind
it's
of approach that I like.
I just think it's funny because like in Genshin, it's like I'll go through the story and everything, and then I'll be showing stream or something to my friends, and I'll just walk by, and there's this random chest that I just never picked up, even though it was like right out in the open. And it's just like I was on a mission. I was on a mission to complete the story. I couldn't care. I didn't want to walk 5 feet that way to go and pick it up, but
I'm the other way. I'm someone that like, oh, like the mission, like for example, the mission takes you from like Mondstadt to Liya, and then I would somehow get distracted until like Sumeru, and then like, oh shit, I keep following this like statue, and then I saw another statue of the seven in the distance, and I'm like, I must open it.
But I think
love
that's
doing
the
that
the kind
damn
of the fun parts though in open world, right? When you
Yeah,
can get that.
that's like literally what I think open world game is meant for.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like it's you got a general, they gave you a general direction. It looks like Elden Ring. They give you a general direction, like
Yep.
literally direction.
Mm.
Literally just points you, okay, that way is the right way. Whether you go there or not, it's up to you. I like that.
Because
I like that a lot.
And it's really nice when they can actually flesh their story kind of around that, because I think Elden Ring does a good job of like letting its story kind of fold around whatever you do. But I think for Genshin and especially
they give you a lot of like player agency. Of course, like we're talking about a different game genre. Because like in Genshin and I think HSR, they give you some options too, but like most of the time the story always ends up the same.
Which that's okay depending on the game, right?
The path, yeah.
Yeah.
I find it fine with HSR. Like it's
Definitely.
not a single player game. I'm not expecting them to have like multiple endings with multiple like.
Oh, that,
I mean,
that
they
would
still
be
do.
So crazy.
They still give you multiple endings technically.
Technically.
Yeah, I kind of wish they give you achievement for those endings.
Sometimes I have seen them do some, like they'll do different, like, because what was it? Like Clara's. Did you do Clara's side quest or Clara's?
No, I haven't done a lot of the companion side quests.
If you do hers, there is a choice that they give you, and you'll get one or the other achievements for whatever choice you make.
Oh yeah. That they do that achievement even on like some of the like world quests, the mini side quests.
Yeah.
Like I got one this of side quests where like there's a person that's like throwing coins into like those like the ships.
Oh right.
Like
Yep.
like you can either stop them or like throw the coins with them, and like the achievement is gonna be different. And also like remember the Santicus Medicus storyline that you mentioned? Those also have different achievement whether you're doing it or not, because now it's optional. So if you do it, if you do the mission first, you'll know that who the villain is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask you. Did you do it before you fought her, or?
Oh yeah, because like they told us about it. I was like doing the main quest, and then like they were like, oh, if you do this like this, they didn't tell us why. They just tell us that this person is gonna disappear if you.
Oh, so
like
they do tell you that.
Yeah, this quest is gonna fail. Like this quest is gonna like cannot be completed if you finish, like if you progress with.
Interesting.
With
okay, I was wondering how they were gonna do that.
And I find that fine. That gives you that gives you a spoiler in a way that like this mission is connected to the main story, but not in a way that like, oh, it's like it doesn't
Like it's
really
completely.
spoil the inside of the story. It
Hmm.
just spoils you that like, oh, it has connection with it.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Like I'm glad they did that because it's like it's
Oh yeah.
because you wouldn't recognize it, right? Because her whole body shape changes, her hair changes. Like it's really hard to recognize that they're the
I
same
can kind
person.
of see the similarity.
Because
But then again, they're also using the same freaking 3D model.
I think they're also are they? I thought her model was a lot thinner before.
Her normal model is a lot different, but like after you, I think like her model is based on like the enemy model, right? The one
Right,
that
right,
we
right.
fought.
Mm.
So like there's definitely some similarities because I think it's
And
based
it's
on
also
that.
like blindfolded too, right? Which,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like she didn't have blonde hair before. She didn't have,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so cool to see. So,
Yep, I find it really cool. I really enjoyed it.
hmm.
I enjoyed like side quests that actually have connection with the main quests
Hmm.
and can even affect them. That's also because that gives you the illusion of like having influence and choice.
Yep, yep. It's always really cool to see that. Like, also, did you notice the enemies? Like, so did you see the trailer for 2.2? Like the live stream that they did for it and the trailers they had.
I didn't watch the live stream. I think I watched the one with the Sunday boss, right? The trailer.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like I know in the live stream they showed off the 3 new enemies, and they didn't look anything at all like what we got in the final game, which I thought was very cool. Because like in the live stream they just show them as these like mannequin dolls, but then in the game we got these like kind of creepily sexy enemies, right?
Oh yeah, I was like, oh my god, they thick.
Oh yeah, that one is like, and then they have these physics as well. So
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I thought these were dolls. These were dolls for different thing. Kind of sus.
But I like the design. It was just very like surprising that they did it almost kind of reminded me of like Marvel, right, where they would like cinematically change their trailers or whatever before.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. But
I think it's nice that they put effort and like the things that they show actually does like shows up in the game.
And I think
I
like
kind of wish I still kind of well they didn't end up calling the Shanjo, I guess, but like at least
which I'm
it's not a
glad.
clickbait, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad because that means
I feel like the Jade Abacus is way too like important personally.
yes, yes. It's gonna be for some. I think we're gonna call that when we go and face off against destruction at some point, right?
At some point,
Because
I think it's about time they're starting showing up.
well, because I think the whole reason why Elio awakened us and had us join, made us forget our memories and had us join the Trailblaze is because they want us to go to all these planets, make allies, and then all these allies are going to come together.
Yeah, I mean that's what mentioned like in the some of the story, right? Like where
right.
He wants you to like gain allies. That's I think like literally Kafka told us about it, right? Like the whole reason like why like we wanted you to stop by Shanjo is like to befriend them and like gain their trust and stuff.
So it's like it's definitely way too soon to be calling them, but it'll be interesting how we end up calling Penacony. I wonder if we're not actually, because this is the thing that I'm worried about with the next patch is that the IPC is just going to take over Penacony. And so like maybe that's how we get Penacony's help because it's not Penacony but actually the IPC.
I think they already mentioned that like IPC won't be able to do that, right? Because the family claim internal problem or something. So like in the eyes of like the quote unquote law, they cannot intervene with internal problems.
But it's the IPC. I feel like they'll find a way. They'll find a loophole. I feel like that's
they will. They will try. I mean, that's exactly why like the part where like Aventurine was talking with Jade and stuff was like really intriguing. As like, is this like a way like for them to like find a loophole?
Right. And it's like maybe because Venturine got hurt and everything, so maybe they could still use that as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, you never know.
Like gain some ground.
Mm.
Especially like since like in the fake dream, in the fake ending, they give you about like how like, oh, IPC is gonna pull back, and I'm like, immediately
there was
like
no
when
way.
I saw
yeah.
that, I was like, bullshit. That's bullshit.
Mm. Or true, or maybe
That's
Diamond
really
might be
funny.
able to do
That
something.
dream was way too good. That's why I was like the whole time I was like, I'm telling you, this is fake.
Yep. No. At that point, I definitely knew it was fake too. I'm like, there's no way. No way.
The whole time I was like streaming that, I was like, this is fake, guys. This is way too good. Like, especially after all that like talk that like Sunday had about like how like he wants everyone to have like live their best dreams basically. And I'm like, this is definitely like the best scenario, which is bullshit. Like, this is way too like ideal.
So here's a question. Do you think that we've actually truly woken up? Because we did also see the credits again, right? And that only showed up when we were still dreaming. But we saw them again. So it's like, do you think we're still... Like, have we truly woken up? Or is there still...
Now, I'm not so sure. I would say we are. I believe that we are. But I personally would also believe if like someone told me that like, hey, we're still in the dream. This is like Inception level shit.
You want to know what's
like,
going to be...
But like, it seems more realistic for me right now.
You know, that's going to be the annoying thing though now, right? Where it's always going to be like...
You can always question.
Yeah. It's like whenever anything bad happens, it's like, I feel like people are going to joke about that in the future. It's like, well, we're still just dreaming, right? We'll just wake up and we'll still be back in
Yeah, we're all in the Matrix.
Right.
You know, we're living in the Matrix, guys. Like, no way. But like, one of the part that like, well, I guess like they kind of like clarified it afterwards, because I guess it's a bit anti-climatic. But like, I thought for a moment like Robin and Sunday died after that, like after the whole fight.
Oh,
Did you think that way? Because like if you see in after the fight,
I definitely thought Sunday
fell.
I definitely thought
Sunday fell,
died.
right? Yeah, Sunday fell, right? Like, yeah, I thought the same too, but like they didn't tell us which one died, because like when he fell, Robin swung but like flew and then like catch him, right? And then it cuts to black and they start talking, like giving up this slideshow and the text mentioned that like of the two like brother and sister, like one has the cape, and like they were like separated eternally or something like that.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah.
But the text mentioned it. I was like, no, it better be fucking Sunday and not Robin. And I was like that.
I feel like we're going to get Sunday, though, too, as a character. Like, I feel like he'll have a redemption arc, because he technically wasn't bad. He was almost pretty much groomed as a child to be evil. But I do think that he does really care about, like, Robin and everything.
I wouldn't say groom. I think he's just super logical. I honestly, personally, like the whole time I was playing the thing, I was like, emotionally, I don't agree with this bastard, but like, god damn it, his logic is so impeccable. I agree with him completely.
Really? I didn't think his logic was impeccable, but maybe that's just...
No, his logic makes sense and works. All of them. That's why the whole time Himeko and March and like Firefly never really like see, like their resistance to him is that like people should have option. That's an emotional thing.
Are you talking about like when you were making all those choices for him and everything?
Yeah.
Like
when he was making all those choices, he was gonna like in the first option, like the with the Charmony Dove. Everyone was like, "Yeah, we're gonna build a cage from." That's a logical choice. That's the logical answer.
No. That is not the logical choice. The logical choice was to actually put it into a tree and build it a nest there. Or build it a tree house, or not a tree house, but you know, like a birdhouse.
No.
Like
He explained it though, like if you choose that.
No. What he says is that you put it on the ground. I'm like, what idiot puts a bird on the ground? No, you got to build a birdhouse for them and put them into a tree so that way they're not going to be attacked by predators.
But no, but here's the thing. If you make a nest on top of a tree, he's going to die immediately because he's going to fall immediately.
Well, you can build like
he
a
cannot fly
birdhouse.
right now. No, he cannot fly right now. He cannot.
But you can
go,
feed them until he's able to fly, right? Like.
Well, that's what they're trying to. That's what they're doing, right? That's why they put it on a cage, like, and take it home instead.
But if
so
you,
like they can like feed it until it's strong enough. That's like their whole spiel. Because like
if you put it in
the
a cage, then it's never going to have any ambition to fly. That's where it's like. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it makes sense what you're trying to say. Like I also agree with that. That like. Shouldn't be a cage. I think like some of my one of my friends told me that like you could have like keep them around in your house, but not a cage, like not a cage.
Right,
so, like,
right.
Let them like fly around the house. But like I think like the answer that he comes up with, like given like the two options, makes sense. Because first of all, he's a kid. He's not gonna think about like, oh, I should build this like this nest like on the fucking tree. He's not gonna climb up there and build a nest for him, like for the dove up there.
Yeah,
but like we're talking about two kids here, right?
Right. But that's where like kids would go to their like parents or something, right, and be like, "Mom, Dad, what do we do here?" And then, I don't know. I felt like
that's
that
the thing.
was
That's the thing in the story. In the story, like the old man, the golfer.
He does, and
he asked.
That's where he was.
Asked the kids, right? He's trying to get the kids to answer it. Yeah, he was trying to like get the kids to answer it for him.
He was being a bad father.
He doesn't want to tell them. Like he just wants to like have them pick their own. And like Robin's is the one that wants to like keep it in a like take cares of it and stuff. Like they both agree on that idea of like taking care of them. It's just Sunday wants to build a cage and like Robin doesn't want to.
What did you pick for the? Let's see, the second one that the guy selling his kids.
I ended up agreeing with most of his choice, like all of his choice. Partly because I agree with his logic, and another part is because I want to understand. I want to see like what happens afterwards, because I want to see like what made him this way.
I think I disagreed with like all of his decisions, especially with the one that sold his father. Like I wanted to put that guy in jail so bad. Like I.
Oh yeah, no. But like I talk about that too. I mentioned like like when I pick, I know that like it could go wrong. So like when I was picking that option. I was like, so this dude sold his two kids. If we help him right now, he might get rich. He might not. And if he get rich, he might save his kids. He might not.
Or he might not.
Yeah, and I was like, he might not. He even like if everything happens according to his plan, doesn't mean like he would actually go like with his plan. But I didn't expect is that like he doesn't have kids.
Oh, is that what?
I did not expect that.
Is that what?
Yeah,
they
he
said?
doesn't have kids. Yeah, he was lying in the kid part. I didn't expect him to not like.
Really?
I was expecting him to not save his kids. I was not expecting him to lie about having kids.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like,
okay.
Because like so that's also part of the reason I choose his option, because I want to see what happened to him. So like what happened to him is like the guy turns out successful. He became rich. Somewhat rich. Not as rich as like Aiden, for example.
Right.
Like not a tycoon, but like rich enough and like well known. And then one day he get caught again. But this time he got caught for like a rebellion. He's trying to replace a family head, basically.
Okay.
And then and then Sunday became his priest again, like the Bronze Melodia, which is basically a priest for like the prisoner. And like he asked him about his kids, and he would like the dude answer like, what kids?
Ooh.
And that's when Sunday realized that like when I helped him back then, my mind was like, my heart was filled with like harmony. Like I wanted to help this dude as like someone that's like in a position to help him. And like this dude just fucking used me, basically.
What about the last one when it came to, because I think the last one was, would you stop Robin or not, right?
Nah, no. See, I'm gonna sound like a bastard right now, but I chose to stop Robin.
Okay, okay. Okay, and what happened
He
on that
get so
one? Yeah.
when I no, he didn't say anything. He never answered that question.
Ah, okay, okay.
Because like they want to show you like what happened after, right? Like he
Mm.
actually tried to stop her by like imprisoning her and stuff. So like he ended up going with it, like with the option that we chose, like the option of like stopping her.
Okay,
But like
okay.
the logic that I say was like these options are basically emotional or logic. Because like on one,
True,
because
true.
you saw the cutscene like that he gives, right?
Mm-hmm.
He saw his sister like got shot by random bullets.
Through the neck, yeah, which is
Yeah, which is like thank the harmony. Like they were like thank the harmony she didn't die. Like it misses all the vital parts of her
yeah, which
organs, but like
super
that's
lucky.
crazy.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. But like also so like the option boils down to two things. Do you want to let her die free, or do you want to like cage and keep her alive?
Right, right.
So you know.
And it's like, yeah, my thing was like, well, she's an adult, you know, you can't really stop her at that point if
Uh-huh.
she's gonna.
But at the same time, like when he asked you, like, what would you do in my position?
Yeah,
And
and
like as
that's
some I know what he's thinking, and I was like, I know your logic. I
so
know
you
you
were
would have been
answering
like
like as him rather than someone
as him. Yeah,
similar to. Yeah,
like
okay.
I was talking about like
Mm-hmm.
how like all of this option is like mostly like logic versus like emotional, and I know he's like he already like everyone already mentioned about how he's like highly logical.
Mm-hmm.
The things that he do, it's always like calculations and stuff.
Gotcha.
But she's gonna die anyway in cage. No, that's the whole point, right? When you're
Right,
caged, you're
right.
not dead. You're just
Mm.
gonna suffer. Like when she was around with him, she couldn't sing, but she's alive.
Yeah, but all joy is gone from her.
Yeah, all the
But
joy is
yeah.
gone, but like at least she's alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point, right? And that's why like as Sunday, as someone that is like highly logical, like I personally resonate with him a bit because like I'm also really like I can barely feel people's emotion.
Mm. Okay,
I
okay.
can logically like notice people's emotion. Like I can know like you're sad. I just couldn't feel I couldn't empathize. I couldn't feel people's sadness.
Mm-hmm.
I can see people sad, but like I cannot relate basically.
Mm-hmm.
So like I understand like as Sunday he would be like, you know, you're sad, but I'd rather have you alive than dead. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I
All the
could
option
kind
I
of get it,
choose like
but
his
the
options.
just and that's probably why I
What
was
about
like
you?
the complete opposite. I chose all of the opposite options. Although to be fair, if I had known that they would be idiots and just leave the burrow on the ground, I probably wouldn't have chose that first option. I probably would have gone for the cage, but
Yeah, because like he mentioned right, like you're gonna build the just they were thinking. I think like it makes sense as a kid. They would like, oh, you know, I found you here. Let me build you something like a nest here.
mm-hmm.
They didn't realize that birds live in trees apparently. They
Right,
keep
right.
talking about like birds live in the sky, and I'm like, no, birds live in the trees.
Hmm. But yeah, you know, they're kids, and hopefully, what I didn't like was that didn't Sunday say that he killed the bird, like
No,
the original bird, right? That was in the
no,
cage, like after
no,
Robin
no, no,
left.
no. No. So what happened? So what? See, this is why I want to know like the story too. So what happens to the bird is that like after she leaves, she let the bird go, right? And then
Mm.
the bird keeps trying to fly. The bird actually fly, like the bird actually tries to fly.
Mm.
For the past, like he watched the bird try to fly for like I think he mentioned the number 137 times, I think.
And it just couldn't
Where
fly.
like it would try to fly and it fell down and it actually tries again, fell
Mm.
down until it actually managed to fly pretty high, and then the wind turns out wrong, and then like it actually fell from like such a height that like it broke her, like it broke the
The
wings,
neck. Okay, okay.
and then no, it broke the wings, and it was dying.
Mm.
It died because like the wing broke basically.
Okay, okay.
and like he saw like how like sometimes like people even after like being protected, like that's why he mentioned like the weak will always be weak.
Which I don't know if
It's
I
like
always agree with that either, but yeah.
no, him it makes sense, right? Like imagine like the
Oh,
story, like the whole spiel of like harmony is that like the strong protects the weak, right? But like if you're
right.
going by that logic, that means the weak will never be strong because the weak will always be weak and will always be protected. That means like the strong always have to be like sacrificing.
Yeah, but it's also the thing of like who says who the weak are, right? Is the like because it's I think the kids.
Well, that's I think he said like a lot of the humans are basically weak. That's why like he when he built Penacony, it became famous because everyone wants an escape. That's
But
why
then
like
we
his
meet those
logic makes
kids, right?
sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Which
I
kids?
understand it from his standpoint.
Like the kids
but,
and like Robin. Yeah, like he didn't meet them, right?
right.
That's the thing. He didn't meet them.
But it's like I wonder if he
And
would
that's
still
why like
feel
Robin
that same way
opposed
after.
him because like Robin always has a soft spot. Robin is always much more like emotional and like
Well, she's an
she
empath.
also ended up like she's super empath actually. She can literally
Yeah, she can. Yeah. That's. I think they say that right because of her wings or something. She can like feel, and I think.
yeah,
I
her
think Sunday
connection
can
with the
do it
harmony is so
too,
strong.
but he just
Yeah,
met
no,
really corrupted people.
Sunday's connection with harmony is not as strong as like
Oh, I don't think it has to do with harmony.
as
I think it's their race. Like the winged race that they are, I think is able to just connect with people's emotions. And then harmony amplifies that.
that's
And
the thing. If like that's the thing though. If Sunday can know people's emotion, then like he wouldn't get tricked. Like in the during the part the confession part where like he got tricked by the guy that has 2 kids. He wouldn't get tricked if he can feel the emotion, right? Because like he'll see through like lies basically.
well, it depends on what emotions he's trying to look for, right? Because the guy could have seriously been scared, right? And so maybe he could have sensed the fear, and that's where he could have believed it. Like it's hard to say. But you do raise a good point that he probably wouldn't have been tricked as much. But maybe it's also a thing where it's like maybe he just stopped relying on it after a while, after meeting so many terrible people. So
So Holovians can do telepathy and convey the nature of their thoughts. Do not hide their heart from everyone. So they're always they always tells the truth, technically. And he always does tell the truth, technically. He never
does,
lies to you.
yeah. I don't think he
just
ever does.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't give you the whole truth.
Right.
That's why I relate to him. I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, I don't lie. I just
Dude,
never told you about this.
when he was doing that interrogation, right, with the Dreammaker or whatever, I was screaming. I'm like, what God? What, like, because I'm like, the way he was asking those questions, I'm like, you are not, you are purposefully wording these in a way that makes it sound like you're on our side and not. And I was screaming, and I was so glad that Welt was like, yep, I think you guys are bullshitting me right now. And it's like, I felt like, well, I really loved having Welt in this story because I felt like he was like, every time I had a question or every time I was like, wanted somebody to point
the right
something out.
questions.
Yeah, exactly. He was asking all the right stuff. And I'm like, yes. Thank you, Welt, for being the player.
Well, for me, the one that like kind of throws me off a bit. I don't really mention it a lot, but like the one that throws me off a bit is like a law. Like why do Harmony has a law? I thought the only law that they have is like
I thought
the only law that they have is like strong helps the weak. That's it.
So that was part of the like the Golden Gears storyline where you find out that for some reason Harmony like consumed the Aeon. So like Aeon paths, if they're too similar to each other, they will
I know they
converge
collided with Enna's the order, right? That's why like they basically got absorbed into the path of like Harmony. And that's the whole reason why Sunday ended up like becoming
right.
But like at the same time, like when it's absorbed, that's because it's absorbed. Like absorbed doesn't mean like they're gonna like Harmony suddenly would come up with laws.
Well,
right.
So like what I think it was is that Harmony doesn't necessarily have it, but even though an Aeon is gone, the influence that they have left on the world still exists. So that's why, like, for
Mhm.
instance, the Astral Express still exists, even though Machiavelli is gone. It's not like, so even though the Aeon's gone, the path and
Mhm.
stuff around it are still there. So that, like, I think it was really just the Dream Maker was there,
Yeah, no,
and
no.
because it's
The path is still. I understand that the path and the influence, the power is still there. It's just the god's gone, basically.
right,
But
right.
what my question is that like, just because like it gets absorbed doesn't mean like harmony is gonna like apply what order applies before, right? That's
Right,
why I
right,
was
right. No,
like,
no.
why are
Mhm.
you talking about divine laws? Like harmony never mentioned anything about laws. That's what also well noticed, right? Like you
Right,
keep
right,
talking
right.
about
Yep.
laws. Like what
hmm
laws?
Which is like, it was
And
such a
that's like
good thing
what I
to
was
point.
like. That's why I
hmm
agree with you. Like, well, asking all the right question, because like I was like, yeah, there's like they keep mentioning these laws when like, especially when Sunday is doing the interrogation stuff.
Right, right, right.
So like, whose laws we're talking about here?
And it does make it
Mm,
interesting. Do you think they'll ever add in a new path for characters? Or do you think we'll be stuck with the ones
I
that we
think it's
have?
gonna be
Because
hard.
I
I
would
think
think
it's
so
gonna be
too, right?
hard just
Because
because of like the gameplay
I,
effects of it.
I
We don't
wouldn't
know like
necessarily say
what it's
like
gonna do.
gameplay, but like the fact that we can only equip the Lycones of our path, right? I think that's going to be the biggest limiting factor.
Well, you know, maybe down the line they can have. I don't. I want to use nihility just like at the same
hmm
time. So, like, nihility is already there, but like, you know how nihility is not really affected by any pad. Like they can add something
True,
similar. For
true,
example,
right?
like
Because
there's this
hmm
pad that can basically like adapt to like all the other light cones. Maybe like
maybe.
for example, like the pad of elation, because they're so crazy, they can just like make do with what they have, basically.
Well, interesting thing is like we've seen Sparkle, right? And we know that Sparkle is from Elation, yet
Sparkle,
she's in Harmony as a character. So
yeah. That's why I was like,
mm,
when like the real pad comes out, maybe like it's just like, oh, you know. That's why I also said like it doesn't really work, because like some of the characters is already out there. I'm just saying like the concept
mhm.
would make sense if like, oh, there's like another pad that like doesn't really have that limitation.
Yeah. I wonder if
But at
it'll
the same
also
time, the thing
be.
is like the gameplay role is gonna be hard. Like you got a support that heals, a support that buffs. You got a DPS that attacks one character, DPS that attack all characters, and then DPS that do damage over time,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
that's it. And then like tanker and tank, right?
yeah, it's like I just feel like some paths, like Nihility, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
uh, could be broken up into a couple of different things. Like you can have a pure dot characters and then pure
Yeah,
debuffers, and
nihility
then
is basically involves debuff. Basically, that's the whole concept of nihility, right? It involves the buff. For example, like Akron, it involves like having someone with like the same pad with her first of all,
mhm.
and then like putting debuffs on the enemies. Like the way she deal damage is not the same as the other ones, like with damage,
Yep, yep.
like with Kafka or something. But like the concept is the same. It involves like having like putting the debuffs on the
Mhm.
enemies.
But it's like I don't know. There's two different debuffs, and I feel like they play really differently from each other. So at least from a gameplay standpoint, I could see them being a little different. Especially with like, I also think Erudition could maybe be split up, and I don't know. There's some stuff where it's like I feel like if I were to go, if they had more time, they maybe could have gone back and split it up. But I think it's a little too late now to kind of change things.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree.
But
Yeah, it's
maybe
gonna
they could
be
do
kind
like
of
a
hard.
dual path character. You know, somebody that's like both
Oh,
preservation and
guess who's gonna do that? Akron.
n-
They always mention how like she's on the Galaxy Ranger, which means like a pet of the Hun, right? And then like she's
mm.
on the Nihility Emanator. It's like I wonder like if there's something more. And then the
Ooh.
Trailblazer can do that too. Like what? He's gonna like come in with a hat and a bat.
And they mentioned something about March as well, didn't they? That March would be getting an alternate form at some point. So that'll be because they mentioned they wanted to do something special with March, but not like with Don Hung where he just has a 5-star, but something closer to what the Trailblazer has. So I'm interested to see what they'll do with
Mm.
that. And we've already
I'm thinking more like they're gonna do it like the way Danheng did, and just have a 5-star, and then the 5-star is gonna have the extra fluff.
that's what I thought too, but then they said they specifically didn't want to do that. So but it's also
Thank
weird
God.
because she got an outfit, right? And then it's like I thought they were gonna sell that outfit. Right.
They never
When we
did. The princess outfit, I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
She looks so adorable with it.
Mm-hmm. But we haven't gotten anything yet. And
True.
I think Genshin and I guess MiHoYo itself just doesn't do a lot of outfits in general, which is why I am looking forward to. I keep bringing it up, but Weather and Waves, because I think Punishing
Oh, you
Great
can- you
Raven
can
does have a lot of
customize it?
outfits.
Well,
not yet,
like,
but
different outfits.
the developer is known to have like do costumes and stuff. So
I see.
probably not at launch, but future updates and everything. Because I do like. I know you said you haven't played much gacha games, but have you played any that have like summer characters or like different holiday characters and everything?
Not necessarily. I've definitely seen it. Like, it's a trend. I can tell for sure. Like I've definitely seen, like, for example, like Azur Lane. I never played the
Yeah.
the game, but like I definitely seen that they had so many costumes for like the ships.
Yeah, even in like the one I like playing, which is like Grand Blue Fantasy, like that one they'll have like different summer versions, or like they also have like Yukata versions, and then Christmas and Halloween. The Halloween ones are always really fun. But yeah, it's like you don't really get to see any of that in MiHoYo stuff, so maybe we'll see that.
I think
more
that comes down to like the investment that they have to make, because like the other ones are just like basically a live 2D, right? A drawing. But
True.
for MiHoYo, like they gotta do it in the 3D, and then they gotta put physics on it. It's just like a whole different kind of investment, which I'm not saying like they shouldn't make the investment. I'm just saying it's a different level of investment. Like if they make an outfit for like Akron, for example, or like a Trailblazer. Because like I keep talking about like how Trailblazer should have gotten different outfit for different freaking
Yes.
class. Or like
I
if they go
agree.
to different planet, they should have a different skin. Like for example, like on Shanzhou, they're gonna get like a Shanzhou team outfit.
That would be so cool. I know people keep saying that for the Trailblazer too, right? They should have an outfit for
because like
every region.
especially because like them like the Trailblazer keep
the
talking about
Traveler,
like
sorry.
buying like because like the Trailblazer keep talking about like buying gifts and like souvenirs, like right, they couldn't buy like a different outfit.
Right, like you got Adventurine, right?
Yeah,
he said he was going to buy
have
us
Adventurine.
outfits, and I picked the pajamas. I would love to see the pajamas that he bought us, but
yeah, but like that's like I'm not saying that it's not an investment that they should make, but like I understand that if they make another outfit for it, they're gonna first of all like have the characters always like use the outfit on like all cutscenes, and then they're gonna have to like make the 3D model of it, make
it
sure
doesn't have
that
to
it
be
works
all
with the
cutscenes,
game.
right? Because I feel like in-game cutscenes could use it, but then I would still be okay if they went with the default outfits.
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
like,
If it's like the trail, like the cinematic ones, obviously I wouldn't care about like the outfit that they use. But like in the in-game, they're gonna have to like use, because like some games deliberately like switch you back to like the normal skins
yeah, that I'm not okay
during
with, but
in-game
yeah.
cutscenes. Because I'm like, why? But like, yeah, you gotta also like rig everything, make it in Blender, basically put bones in it, physics, stuff like that.
But I feel like
I
could
can
do
see that it's like it's more investment than like Azur Lane skin, where you can just draw the thing.
But it's like
in
I feel
2D.
like you could have a different team doing that, right? Because it's like their character, like creator team, like are they always fully busy? Like are they just constantly? Because they're not constantly coming up with new characters every single. Like I mean, we are getting new characters.
No, but
they
have to have a catalog, right?
Right.
Because they keep. I'm pretty sure like the whole reason of like the update takes a while is also because it's just to give the creator team time.
But I mean, if they're doing things right, they should already be like several patches ahead. Like in my opinion, they should already be working on the next world by now. If they've been doing things correctly, or at least close to it, but they should at least be on 2.5 right now.
It would make sense
But
to do that. They should
mhm.
always have always like a rough plans, at least like couple patches ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
also I think part of the reason like the skins wouldn't come is I think it's also like it's a Chinese company instead of like a Japanese company. It
oh,
will
do
make
they
sense.
not like
It's a
doing?
different business philosophy. No, it's just
Hmm.
like the games that you all mentioned, like the Kaja games. They're all Japanese company games,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Grand
Yeah, yeah.
Blue,
Hmm.
Azurlane, and like FGO.
Well, except for
But
Punishing Gray
like this,
Ravens is a Chinese one, but I do see where you're coming with, where it's a different setting, right? Because that's probably the whole random gear, random stat stuff.
yeah, they
I
already like pretty crushing pretty. Like, did you know like at some point China had like someone suggested a bill that bans anything random, like any loot, like a randomized system, basically
hmm
like gacha, random loot
Yes, yes. I
box,
think I remember hearing
gacha
about that.
pulls,
Yep.
and then like even like the equipments. I think. Well, I think the equipment is not as much as like if it's like get it like if you can get it from game, but like they just want to ban the whole like randomized
Yep, yep.
loot
Hmm.
and like daily login. They don't want people to like implement that because like it makes the kids in China just log in into the game every day.
Yep. Because didn't they have like a limit? I thought in China as well. Is like
Yeah.
how often you can
People
play,
under
and
18 can only play 3 hours a week, guys,
which is that's so rough.
which is crazy. Yeah, and also only during weekends. So you can
Oh,
only use
ooh.
those 3 hours during like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think.
Oh, wow.
So like if you try to go to net cafe without having an ID or something, I think
Hmm.
they won't allow you to do it on like Monday till Thursday, I think. You can only do it like on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or national holidays or something like that. And like the whole reason why they can do that is because like everything is tied to your national ID.
Right, right.
So like everything ties up, including like your like the way you do credit cards and stuff. It's all tied up to like national ID,
Hmm.
and that's why they can keep an eye on it, and that's why they can control it. And in some sense, it makes sense. Like again, if we're talking about logical, it makes sense. Kids sometimes doesn't know how to restrain themselves.
Hmm.
We've seen how spoiled like kids, especially in the Western country, can get.
Well, and I think we've all heard the horror stories, right? Of like parents finding out that their kids spent thousands of dollars on mobile game apps.
On their
Like,
credit cards
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, yeah, without their permission and stuff. And like by having it that way, your kids just straight up couldn't do that.
Hmm. So it makes sense, but it's a little scary though with how much
But
control that
it's a
is.
little
So.
scary, like how much control they have over everyone. Like how
Hmm.
every company how always have to like have approval from the government. That's also why like Genshin couldn't get super like skimpy stuff. Like
Well, no, no. I
this is as
think
skimpy as we can
actually,
get.
no. I think the reason why they don't do skimpy stuff is because. So did you hear about this stuff with Honkai Impact Third? So
Like how the fans are like crazy.
right. So like what ended up happening there is that they wanted to do bunny skin outfits actually for their anniversary for the global release, and the fans, the Chinese fans, got so pissed off at that, saying that they were sexualizing these characters for a Western audience and everything. And
That's
one of the
Western audience doesn't like sexual stuff. Have you seen Stellar Blade?
right, but anyway, like what ended up happening is that one of the fans actually ended up going to the MiHoYo company with a knife,
And stabbed the
trying
CEO,
to.
I think.
He was going to try to. Obviously, he didn't get close enough, but I think that the fact that he even attempted to do that and everything scared them, and so that's why I don't think they do a lot of sexy stuff anymore. But
That makes sense.
hmm.
At the same time, they're fucking dumb if they say about like Western audience. Western audience has been
They do. I
like
mean,
no,
but that's just
no
the
offense
fans,
to
right?
you guys, but Western audience has been kind of dumb these past few years.
We've been super. Well, I wouldn't say the audience is dumb. I would say the social
The minority
media.
of it, yeah.
Like,
The people that like the loud minority has been
Mhm.
really freaking dumb.
Yes.
And like, I don't think it's because I don't think it's even dumb. I think they're just being like, I think it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like just like deliberately dumb, deliberately like evil. Because like I see like the whole like Starblade like controversy, but
which that was so
like,
stupid with.
yeah, it's like they're like when we complain about the game, like we were complaining about the fact that like they promised something and like they didn't do it. And then they were like, oh, what? You cannot like masturbate to like the 2D character, like your 3D characters now because of like they wear lingerie now. Like, no, that's not the point. The point is that like the CEO came out and like, oh, we're not gonna censor the game.
And then he did.
And then they did. If you didn't say it, no one's gonna complain.
Hmm.
And like, there's also literally proof that like if the game is not updated, it's gonna have the uncensored version.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember seeing that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people that has the CD can just like disable the update and then play with the version 1.0, and then like it would have all the stuff without the out censor. So like the girl would not actually wear the lingerie. It's gonna be like hotter and stuff like that. But like if you have the updates, if you connect it to the internet and it update the game, it turns into like 1.1 or something. Like the update runs, and then like it's gonna have this lingerie. So it's an add-on. And that's what people are mad about, because like he said that like it's not gonna be censored like a week before the game launch. I saw the news too, and I actually pre-ordered the game. I haven't played it though.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I have heard some good, at least from a gameplay standpoint, that it's good. I don't know if the story or anything's any good, but
I heard the gameplay is like I heard the story leaves a lot to be desired, but like the gameplay is like the better Nier apparently or something.
Okay.
It's like they took Nier and then they improved it.
Didn't who's the Nier creator?
Yeah, I don't know the name, but I think he had a talk with like, yeah, and in that talk is like when I heard like he praised like how the gameplay is like the way he wanted it to be. But like he never mentioned about the story, I think.
Oh yeah, no. Although to be fair, all of his stories are very convoluted. So
Nier's story are like freaking amazing. I haven't even finished Nier.
They're good, but they're also like very.
The amount of time you have to replay that game.
Yes. Now, but let's see. Is there any? Oh wow, have we already been going for almost like 2 hours now?
I know. Time flies by when you're having fun.
Yes. But let's see. Is there anything else that we want to cover with this story? Because we've gone over a lot. How about speculations? What do you think is going to happen in the next patch?
What?
2.3.
In 2.3, like what am I expecting from it?
Yeah, like or I guess like what do you think is going to be like next in story wise? Like any like.
Okay. My prediction is that they're probably gonna go with the whole dream, the thing that they had on the dream, where like they gave you the 4-planet option, and then like you ended up, which is I find it really funny. You remember that part, the conversation part, where like they mentioned about the 4 planets, and then they agree to go to the planet that needs help.
Right. Oh, is that how? Because that's what I naturally
that has
picked.
the antimatter legion or something, I think.
Right.
Right, the one that the IPC told us like to go to.
Is like the signal was like lost or something, but
yeah, and then like the distress signal went out after a while, like an IPC want us to check it.
Right.
And then after that conversation, I don't know if you talk with every NPC there, like before you go to Black Swan. Did you do it?
I think so, but I don't fully remember what they said.
You don't remember? So like, if you talk to March, she's gonna be like, "Please let it be uneventful. Please."
Yes. I do remember that. Yeah.
And I would like in my mind, not in my mind. I actually spoke out when I was on stream because I was like, if you're trying to get an uneventful like adventure, like trailblazing experience, why do you go to the planet that has like a literal like distress signal?
Right.
They're literally asking for help, and you were like, let's go there and like hope like nothing happens.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's.
I was like,
'Cause-
what is this?
Do you think that Black Swan and Boot Hill will actually join us when it comes to, like, at least join the Express? Not
It would
necessarily,
make
like,
sense because like because the thing is the reason I believe that like it should work out the same way we saw it in the dream is because Black Swan mentioned it, right? Black Swan mentioned like this is the only like this like it's kind of like the way Black Swan talked to us is like kind of like when Doctor Strange talked to Iron Man in like Avenger. If you guys haven't watched, how
Do you
there's like
think?
there's so many possibilities, but there's this on like this is the only one. This is the only way to like actually win.
Do you think that Akron will join us, or anyone else will also join
Oh,
us?
I want to. Please join us. I was hoping Robin would, because if you don't remember in Cosmo Dicey like the anniversary event,
Mm-hmm.
there is one navigator that like used to sing,
Ah, okay.
and then she and I don't because like that's a personality test, right? So like it's not like everyone gets the same thing, but it's just like in the personality test, like she used to sing while navigating, and then like she was a navigator and like she sings a lot until I think until after like Akifili died, she also I think she died by turning into crystals or something.
Huh. Interesting. Well, maybe like I didn't see her at first because it's like she has such an important role and everything with her own like job and
I
everything.
really hope they delve into her more. Because like
I do too. I do.
the whole story has always been like told in like Sunday's perspective most of the time. Because we were in Sundays most of the time, right? And she was dead for like half of the patch, and like shows up, talked with us for a bit, got imprisoned for the rest of the patch. She was barely there.
True. Yep.
So like I feel like she should have like at the very least a companion mission.
Oh, definitely. She should definitely have a companion mission.
Yeah. And also like I feel like we could use someone actually joining the Nameless, because I think it's about time they should have someone new. At first we thought it's gonna be Misha, right? But then
I thought it was gonna be Misha too, but it's like no, he's gone. And I know a lot of people are hoping Firefly, which I don't know if she can since she's part of the Celeron Hunters, but
I mean, some people have been making fan fiction of them, like just like, oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
go. This is part of the script and stuff, and like,
I don't doubt that.
I don't mind. I don't mind that one. Please come. We had also an imposter POV. Oh yeah, the POV of like Sparkle.
POV. What do you mean?
Yeah, because like we play as a Sparkle for a bit, right? Like when she turns into Robin.
We do. I don't know. Speaking of Sparkle, I do want to know what that button's going to be about. Because she passed it out to everybody, right? And she keeps hinting at it, and I don't know.
Yeah, the button, like, and no one's pressed it yet. Like, we don't have the Charmony Festival yet. We don't know what Adventuring is doing.
Do you think they're going to do the Charmony Festival? Like, continue it?
I think they would. Well, actually, I'm not sure. I think there's still more things going to happen just because, like, if you remember, like you mentioned about the trailer and stuff, but I think like the most obvious thing that something is still gonna be going on is that we don't have the moment, the scene where like we talk back in the train and like, so this journey is over.
True.
You remember?
Right.
We usually have that in the previous patch, right? So like if like for example 2.5 is new planet, then like you're gonna have to talk about that in 2.4.
Yeah, I wonder if the next patch will kind of be like the wrap-up patch, kind of like how in the LaFu and everything, right? We sent Ten Young's body out to sea and everything, and I think we had something similar as well in
I think in LaFu it's like a companion mission though, that one.
Oh,
Is
was
it not?
it? I thought it was part of the main.
Oh no, it's no, Ten Yun is part of the story. Yeah, never mind, yeah.
Yeah, because we had
like,
that.
yeah, it makes sense. I didn't know which patch that come from because again I played in 2.1.
Right.
Everything was already laid there by the time I played, so I didn't know like how it goes. But like I think it would make sense if it's a wrap up, and also like because like here's the thing.
We still need the IPC too.
Going back to Aventuring again. Aventuring has such like a detailed backstory, and then no presence at 2.2.
Yeah, he just
at all.
disappeared.
0. So that
Hmm.
means 2.3 should be talking about like everything from his perspective. What the fuck is he was doing, right?
Hmm.
I think that would make sense. And then they would add up, like sprinkle up, like, you know, extra mission for Robin, and maybe like more clarity on like maybe a companion mission for Sparkle. Maybe you can see what happens, like what Sparkle is doing other than the
Well,
times where like she was transforming
don't
into
we already have a companion mission
Robin.
for Sparkle, or was that Black Swan's companion mission?
Actually, I don't know. Again, I haven't played most of the companion
Okay, yeah, because there's one I can't remember if it's supposed to be Black Swan or Sparkles, but the two of them are very heavily in that, and you should do that one because they hint at. I feel like Sampo is getting a 5-star coming up. Because like, do you mind if I spoil anything, or
I'm sorry.
do you mind if I spoil
it?
anything about that side story, or?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, but essentially in it, like, so, do you know that Sampo's a part of the same group that, the Masked Fools and everything, that like Sparkle's a part of?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Anyway, they mentioned that he's going to be getting his mask back from Sparkle.
Oh.
So, and I think his mask is supposed to have a bunch of power and stuff in it. So he could actually be really powerful. We just don't know.
We'll find out soon, maybe.
Hmm.
Also, like there is. We saw Sampo, like even though it was Sparkle. So obviously Sampo has something to do with this.
Yeah.
Sampo is definitely more than meets the eye. I wonder if like Sampo's gonna shows up. So like there's a lot of like for like things that they could approach and like make it as like the content for the next update, I think. If I were to put my bets, I would definitely put the bets on like it's ending the arc, the whole arc itself, and then also like the story from like Aventurine's perspective.
Yes,
we can
yes.
possibly
That would
get
be
into
really
like
good.
in depth of like what is his plan with Jade and like Topaz and everyone, because like we haven't met the IPC guys. We only met them in the fall stream, like in the false ending. So like we haven't had any of those like endings, and like we haven't seen any of the Galaxy Ranger that like Foothill called.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like he was supposed to call a bunch of people, right? And then we never saw.
Yeah, he's supposed to call a bunch of people to come toward Penacony, but like I like to help disrupt Anna, but like they haven't showed up.
So that'll be interesting to see. I was hoping that the Galaxy Rangers, based on the name, would be a bunch of like Power Rangers, but
no, it's gonna be more like cowboys, like that kind of Rangers. I think.
Yeah.
That's what the whole Foothill team gave us, I guess. It would make sense. Like we also would meet Akron, because Akron after the whole ending, Akron is nowhere to be seen. So like we should definitely like get some more talk with her. I feel like she's
definitely
she's gonna be someone that always shows up on our story to help us. I feel like she's one of those characters.
Well, because I feel like we're gonna be her. What is it, Kiana? Because like she mentioned that she didn't have somebody with her, right? Like like her version Honkai Impact had. And so it's like I feel like we're gonna be that person for her, and then I feel like she's gonna be important showing up, but who knows? Because she is she's
gonna be important, and she's gonna. I think she always. I think like some people. I saw like some people posted a picture of like how like she said that she told us like she will always be there for us. So like that sounds like a premonition that like she will always show up on like every update moving forward. I kind of wish like in Genshin Raiden would do that too. Like she can literally show up like in the cutscene in the Genshin, like you can literally see like the Raiden where like she would slash a sword like from somewhere else, right? Like cut through like dimension. Like I feel like, you know, it would be nice if like she can actually show up, and kind of like Xiao. Just call my name.
I was actually just about to mention. I feel like she's gonna be more like Xiao, where Xiao shows up and helps us out a lot, right? He's like, I don't really care, but I'll help you anyway, and then.
Because like Genshin also like the overarching theme of like all Honkai games is like the same, right? It's like the power of friendship. How like he would call like we would call like all the friends and like the past people we've met and stuff. So it only makes sense like eventually you like they're gonna keep popping out here and there.
Right. And Acheron doesn't really have a place to go, so it makes sense that she would be with us, but we'll have to wait and see.
She should join the Nameless. She should join the Trailblazing.
The only thing that worries me is that she is
her every time.
Nah, is that she is very strong, and although Welch is very strong too, so it's like, which is
I think a lot of people said that like Welch is not as strong as he used to be in like Honkai Impact.
That's what they've said, but we still haven't really seen him go all out yet, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I think he definitely is weaker, but I think he's still very strong. I mean, he does have a black hole, right?
Black hole, yeah, on his staff, but I think like a lot of people, like some people that play Honkai, told me that like after like his fight with like after like one big fight, I don't know against who. I think they were talking about like fight against Raiden May or something. Like he used most of his power in that fight.
Yeah, I heard he like transferred it to somebody else too, like some of his powers. So, like I know that he's definitely not as strong, but
and also he's older.
He still looks young, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's definitely older. You can definitely see like his hair is turning white.
I mean,
like
so is mine too, but you know, I'm still young.
I heard coughing in that voice. But yeah, I was expecting something like that. Akron, but hell, let's see. Let me put my mission thingy real quick so I can refresh myself.
We're supposed to be getting a Boot Hill companion mission. I think once his banner comes out. Yeah.
Boot Hill is here. A Firefly companion mission would be nice.
I feel like we'll probably get that next patch.
What I don't know. Oh, Kafka already has one. I just haven't played it. Silver Wolf already has one. I played that one. The Pung Lord. And then like we just need Firefly then, right? So like he would so that she can show up on the Nameless too. Visit.
Oh yeah. To show up. I see what you're saying with the visit.
And then I received a message about like finding Sunday. Like how like Robin like
from Robin.
See
that's
that's the thing that I was talking about earlier, how like Robin might die, and then like she sends a message and I'm like, oh okay, I guess she's alive. I guess it's Sunday that's missing. Thank God.
Well, that was actually like
he's
really
hot, but
I thought that was really cool with adventuring, right? Where it's like he only sends you that one message that's like an auto reply, and then after you beat the 2.2 story, then he's actually like just talking with you.
Yeah.
So like I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, so I guess 2.3 is gonna be more like kind of like a flashback from like Aventurian's perspective, since HSR has been introducing like this multiple POV kind of storyline.
Yep.
It would make sense like if they were like, now we're gonna retell the story of what happened like from Aventurian's perspective, and then like maybe we're gonna see like Firefly's perspective, like what the hell she's doing that like
and
allow
like
her
I said,
to save us.
I think she still has one more death that she has to experience. And then maybe she'll join the Express. Happen. Yeah.
I just hope it's not a true death but here's the thing. I have a feeling that like Firefly is gonna have a bad ending.
I think she'll be fine. Like I don't think they'll do the bad ending. That's the vibe I
get. No. Here's the thing. When we were talking with Firefly, you know, like how when she mentioned about Elio, she's always like, the script that Elio has for me is like short.
Yep.
And like how like they already knew how to like the ending that they're looking like. There's like they all knew like what's gonna happen already, right?
I see what you're saying. So you're saying because it's short, it might. I don't know. I feel like
she already know the ending. I'm kind of scared that like she would die in like 3 point something.
I think it's just short because of the way Firefly is and the rash way that Sam also acts. Like, actually, that's what I want to know, because we haven't met Firefly in the real life, and she's supposed to be suffering from, what is it, like this dissociated syndrome disease? Or like, she's suffering from a disease that causes her to be
the syndrome that like, no, she's losing
herself.
She's losing
like, who she is.
Not her, like not who she is. She's losing her presence in reality.
Right. And I thought is that not like just a metaphor for losing her own like
and
personality?
entropy
'Cause-
syndrome. No. She's losing her actual existence.
Really? So I thought, like, when I was hearing that, I thought it was like she's losing her
Yeah, and
personality, which is
see,
why
like,
Sam is so
like,
different
yeah.
compared to her
No.
like
The thing
normal
is,
personality.
she's losing. No, what she has is like entropy loss syndrome, which is like her body is slowly kind of like disappearing.
Ah, okay, and that's what the
So
like
so like that's
the
why
green
that's why
lines
like
and stuff are.
yeah so that's why like when you were talking with her, she mentioned like her body like right now she's fine, but her body starts like hurting more when she move, and she starts moving slower.
You see, I thought it was like she was losing her personality, and then that's why like her Sam personality takes over because of the syndrome and everything, and that's why she's so different. But okay, I can
Oh
see
no
that.
no, she's losing her presence in the world. She's like she's kind of like slowly dissipating, like kind of like melting away basically.
Okay.
So that's why like that's what she's trying to do, right? She's trying to like find a way
Prevent it.
to like
Yeah.
prevent it. Sam is like, what do you think about Sam? Is Sam like a different person? Or
I think
because like
that's a
the
weird
way
thing,
you
right?
said
'Cause-
it earlier, you
Mhm.
I got the impression that you think that he's a whole different personality, a different person, basically.
that's
like
what
two
I
person, one body.
That's what I thought at first, but they also mentioned that it could just be the hardware that she's in, right? Like it's the Jarvis of her suit. So
That will make sense. Yeah,
mhm.
like kind of like an automatic version. The
Right,
suit is
right.
technically like her life capsule after all. Like that's the only thing. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of like imagine like Iron Man, like where like the outfit is like the core is like the only reason like he's still alive.
Yeah, and I know there's supposed to be a lot of lore behind that, I think, in the simulated universe. I just haven't read any of it. Because I know there was people talking about that whole thing, because it's like the Queen's armor or something like that. That's
Yeah, it's part
her
of like the Glamoth cavalry or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And so it's like, I'm sure there's something along that. But then also it's like, it's also weird too, because she had that talk with Acheron, right? Which, again, it's so hard to know if that actually happened or not, because it happened in the dream. So it's like, I really, maybe that's one thing I really hope that they do, is that they fully explain what was real or what actually happened, and then what was just part of the dream. If you know what I mean. Like, so.
Yep.
So that way people don't have any confusion, and it's all like wrapped up, and we're not just at the end of Inception seeing that dial spinning, right? And then never seeing it
Yeah,
fall. Or
the ending. No, well, they cannot do what Inception does just because this is a live service game. You gotta have an ending. You gotta keep going. The story cannot end in a cliffhanger. Like if it's ending in cliffhanger, like it's gonna have something else next season. But like, yeah, Inception is a really good. Like the game definitely took a lot of reference from Inception. I think definitely not as in depth personally. The game also has a lot of Bible reference. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, like with the enemies and stuff. Because
the whole Sunday philosophy is Bible, like
right,
biblical.
but you know the enemies that they had, right? Like, because my friends were pointing that out to me too, where it's like, or not my friends, the chat was pointing it out, that the enemies' attacks were a very biblical in name. Like,
and like
the guy with the goblet and everything's all about.
Yeah,
like,
it's also
and,
like a biblical / like Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol like reference, like by like the whole like past presents, like past present future. It's kind of like Christmas Carol story. It also it's also yeah because like the ghost of the past, the ghost of the present, and the ghost of the future. It's also in the Bible technically. It's like on the final chapter or something. Like it went toward the end of the world.
Yep.
But no, actually it's not. It's part of the Christmas Carol, I think.
Yeah,
Bible in the Bible, it's like for Rider of Apocalypse or something. It doesn't show up on freaking Sunday story. But like he definitely used the day of like the 7 days of creations.
Yep.
Like how like God created human, and like Sunday story basically like how like I think like it's on the boss fight, like the skills. You know, like how in the boss fight in the phase 3, you had like 7 turn to like gain shield to like beat the shit
Pretty
out
much
of him.
not die. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting because I did think it was funny that he was doing confessional and everything. I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
as a Catholic, I haven't been to confessional in so long. So yeah,
But yeah, I really appreciate that. Like personally, they take a lot of reference from like literature and like and straight up like Bibles, art, poets,
Mm-hmm.
and I
They do
kind
a
of
very good job
appreciate
with
that.
that.
That takes a lot of effort. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they made it in a way that is like exciting and like cool and not just straight up a copy paste.
Mm-hmm. Although I do wonder, have you like, how should I put it? Like I've heard, you know, like how they kind of come up with their own special names and everything for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard that that's not really popular with the Japanese audience. Like, they don't really like it when games do that because it doesn't translate really well and it's hard for them to read.
That makes sense.
And so like I
That
wonder
makes sense.
how
If they're trying not to appeal to like a global audience, I think they gotta make some names that are like universally translatable. But it makes sense that they do that because like that way the game can be more unique.
right.
I guess like at least in terms of like story wise, it makes sense if they use like unique names. If it's just for like a game mechanics, I think they shouldn't make it too complicated.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Like speaking of game mechanic, what do you think? Do you like how HSR does things? Like they have like this whole different gameplay mode every updates. You got museum management and then making drinks.
So it's weird, right? Because it really depends on it. Because I like the museum management stuff because it was actually exploring like the history of Euro 06 and stuff, and that I thought was pretty good. I thought Hoi Hoi's story, right, with the ghost hunters and stuff, that was very cool. And then the Pokemon, I don't know if you did the Pokemon one.
I haven't done the Pokemon yet,
but that one was fun too. So it's like those ones were fun, but like recently in Penacony, they've all been like crap. like the drinking one wasn't fun.
All been side games.
Yeah, it's
like you're one of the people that hate the drinking game. I really love it.
It's like I didn't like it. I thought the lore behind it was good. If they make her a 4-star character, if they make Saban, if they make her a 4-star character, I think it would be worth it. It'll be bad if they just never do anything with that. And then it's like this one with the theater one. It's like, again, and sort of interesting with the story, but it's like the gameplay is just so boring.
I guess that makes sense. That means you're one of the people that like I want the gameplay to be like just like what I've been playing all this time. If it's about fighting, then like it's gotta be like involving fights.
It doesn't always have to be exactly that, but it at least has to be interesting. And I guess it's just I haven't found them
because like the example, because all the example that you give, it involves fighting.
Well, nothing museum, right?
Museum, yeah, involves fighting. What do you mean? Like you have to find the artifacts and stuff. You gotta go like and do the quest.
I completely forgot. I was just talking about more the management part where you're like getting all the people together and recruiting people.
Oh, like no, but like the game incorporates like part of the game. Like
I see. Yeah, that's a good point. And so
it has fights, and that's why people liked it. Still like it at least. Like for the drinking part, there's no fights at all, other than like part of the storyline.
Right.
Like other than like that last like final part, like where you have like the rest is just like emoscape, puzzles, strings, puzzles, strings, puzzles, strings.
I thought it was
I
annoying
personally
too.
Really liked it.
It didn't seem like they gave us enough freedom with the drinks, but maybe
I can make some good drinks. I really like the drink making. I don't like Hanu though. Hanu is kind of annoying.
Who?
Like the game the mini game modes where like you turn into the small guy, go into like part of
that
area.
one. Mm-hmm.
It's a cool gimmick, but like not my favorite personally.
No, I can totally see that because it is kind of annoying. Like especially with some of the rock. Like I like that they added in the rocket, but I do find that part to be annoying. I would agree with that.
Especially because some of the part is literally blocking the main story. That's the
Yes,
thing.
yes. Mhm.
I think personally, like if it's a side thing, then it should be a side thing. It can have some effect on the story, but like you shouldn't be blocking me fully from the story unless like I actually do it.
Mhm.
Because like there's part where like you straight up cannot progress unless like you turn into Hanu, and then like
Yes, yeah.
for example, like in the what is this place called?
Because
The Clock
that
Studio
was
theme park.
yeah, because that was the event in 2.0, right? Was doing Hanu stuff, and I thought that one was okay. Like not the best, but it wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it really does depend on the gameplay. I guess for me is the and how much
I
of a
also
connection.
think that like I also think that the side stuff should also give something extra.
Yeah, I really like it when they give like the
after
Lycons
you
and stuff.
finish, yeah, because like after you finish the story, you should be able to like I don't know get credits, maybe maybe XP bucks,
Hmm.
like a different way to like contribute into like the actual game. Because like the thing is like right now like you can still act like I enjoy I appreciate the fact that like the game like you can still do it even after the update is done, like after the next patch.
Yep, I
That's
love that.
something that I
love
wish
that.
Genshin would do.
Yes,
Like I wish Genshin would like
There's-
keep all the events that they had in the past. Like
I don't get why they don't, because like it was so because you said you played Genshin from like
day one.
Yeah, from
Like
day one.
Day one.
To-
like day zero actually. Like
So, like-
literally like the day the game release.
and like I stopped, and like for me, I never did this stuff with Scaramouche. So like when he showed up in Inazuma, I'm like, who the fuck's this little brat? Like,
Yeah.
like he meant nothing to me. But then I go and look online, and everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe he's out. I'm like,
It's Scaramouche. We keep seeing on all this like event mission and like what event mission? What did I miss?
yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I hate of Genshin. Genshin made the. It's good that they made the design the event to be like to complement the main story,
mhm.
introduce characters and like giving lore and stuff. I don't appreciate the fact that you cannot access it after that. I keep
Right,
telling people like you can take away the fucking Primo Gem. It's fine. You can
Yeah,
take
yeah,
away
yeah.
most of the prizes. Just keep the fucking story in the game.
Mhm. And
Like it's
why
literally
they don't
part
just,
of the main story. Yeah.
mm.
And
It's,
like
so
HSR
bad.
listen and does that, right? Exactly. But
Mm.
the thing is, if you're gonna make it into like a recurring act, like the other things is like it's like story related. Like story related makes sense. You know, you do it once, you get the story, it's over. But like for example, like the drink making or like the hotel, like the museum management, I feel like you should get something if you keep doing it.
I could see that. Like,
Gives
I would
gives you
be
a bit
okay
of like
with
an
that.
incentive. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like instead of farming on like the freaking calyx every day, you can maybe like get a little bit of like not as much money as
Ooh.
like the one in the calyx. Maybe you can get
Mm.
like 50,000 a day from like doing the museum.
That would actually be rather fun.
That would be
Hmm.
that would make a lot of sense, and that would like encourage people to like actually play the side mission if they want the extra stuff.
Mm. What do you
Right?
think
Like,
about?
oh, I ran out of energy. I can
Mhm.
play the side play games.
Yeah. What do you think about like the time requirement it takes to actually like be able to use a new unit? Because I feel like it takes way too long once you get a unit to actually be able to use them and stuff. Because I feel like it takes like a week and a half, 2 weeks, depending on how quickly
Yeah,
you
if
farm
you don't
everything up.
pre-farm, like you gotta, the energy requirement, like the amount of material you need to like, especially at the
Like for
higher
traces. Yeah.
level. Mm-hmm.
And then like money too, if you don't like I think I've been playing for so long now I have a good stockpile of money, but like I remember at the
Mhm.
beginning money was such a big thing along with the traces and everything. It's like
At the same time, you like in terms of days, it's a lot of days, but in terms of like time investment, it's like 5 minutes a day. So it's not as
true,
bad,
but
in my opinion. It could be worse. It could be like Genshin. You have to fight for like 7 days, and you have to
Yes.
like actually kill, beat
mm,
the shit out of like the enemies in the domain. Because like I've met some people that like plays this game, and they still complain about this game being too hard. And the reason is that like they didn't want to do the dailies and stuff. And
mm.
I'm like, well, at
Like honestly,
I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm gonna
hmm,
sound really bad. But I told them like I probably told them like don't play the game then. Honestly, like when you play a game, you gotta have some sort of like a commitment, right, to the game. Like you can be
hmm.
casual, but like playing 5 minutes every day is casual. I think.
Yep.
Like if you don't want to commit 5 minutes every day, and then you complain that you cannot beat some bosses, then like what the hell, man?
But
I don't think the problem is on the boss.
but I will say I think the biggest thing I've seen people get turned away from like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail is the which is the artifact in the relic system, right? Because they'll get a new character, they want to go and use them, and they try to level them up, and then nope, the game's just like sorry, like like they get so discouraged by getting a bunch of like defense relics or like HP relics.
Yeah,
and
I am one of those people. One of the reasons I
Mhm.
stopped in Genshin is because when I used to grind every day. I don't like. I'm someone that doesn't like grinding, but like for the sake of like while doing the story, I do the grind too. So like I do this. I finish all I grind until like I finish my energy, and then I do the story. That's what I usually do.
Mhm.
And then by the time the story is done, like for example, I play like 2-3 hours. Like by the time the story is done, I'll get some energy to do some extra grinding.
Right,
That's what I
right.
usually do. But like if I keep getting shit stuff, obviously
It's not encouraging. Yeah.
yeah, it's not encouraging. I think they can tweak the stats a bit.
I feel like they could
Like
just
they don't have to like make the. I don't want to say this because like they don't
personally,
have to make the substat better, but they should at least make the main stat drops like much better than it's currently is.
I mean, personally,
like-
I've come up with ways that I think could make it better, but again, that's probably a whole another stream for a different time. But it's like honestly, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's that bad if you give people a way to just get the gear that they want. So like, let's say like after a certain amount of time, you just let people pick what they get on level up. So like, I've always thought about like, for instance, like you can reset the levels on your gear. So that way it's like you can re-level them up again in case like you get really bad rolls on your level ups. And then if you do that a certain number of times, just let the players pick what levels up. Like, and it's like I don't think that would be bad. And it's like
I think that will be too OP, especially since like sometimes you already get like the stuff that you like. For example, like if you already get like a relic with 3 good stats, right? Like attack, crit damage, crit rate. Those like if you can pick which one you're getting, like that red relic, it's instantly godly.
But it's not. Well, it's not because you still got to work towards it. And I feel like that makes like one, it gives people an end, like an actual end to the goal, right? Because I feel like the biggest discouraging thing for players is when you have a goal, but you have no way of getting.
I think
to
that goal is way too definitive. I think personally, because that also basically limits the game. Because like once you get to that point, you're just gonna have everything like that. Like everything is guaranteed, like quote unquote guaranteed at that point, right?
What do you mean by?
I was thinking like, well, because like eventually, if you eventually can pick up the stats that you want, that means like you don't like sometimes you're not gonna even worry about like rolling for for the good stats because eventually you can just pick the stats.
So why should you worry about that though? Like
it limits the commitment on the game in a way because after for example, if you only use 8 characters, like two party, right, for every 100, once you fully geared the 8 characters, you don't need to farm anymore. You're just not gonna open the game. You just
I think
have
that
nothing
depends
to do.
on the game you're talking, because I feel like in Star Rail there's definitely a good reason to, because you need different elements and different supports. I could see what you're talking about with Genshin, whereas like it definitely wouldn't work out as well.
I mean, Genshin also needs elements, right? I think in some part, I think like Genshin needs it more because like when you have the same element, you straight up do 0 damage.
What do you mean by that?
Like for example, if you're fighting an enemy without fire weakness with a fire character on like HSR, you can still kill it. If you're fighting a fire slime on like fucking Genshin with a fire character,
but how often are those slimes? Like that's. I feel like those are rare enough that they're not a big deal.
Let's not talk about slimes. Let's talk about the Abyss Mage or the Abyss Herald with the elements. If you're fighting it without the right element, it's just gonna be shit ton time. Sometimes even ineffective. So like I think elements is much more important in Genshin. because like the
But you're just
when you
not.
don't have the right element, it's just straight up doesn't do shit.
I just don't think you're facing off against those things enough to wear that. Like I see what you're coming from. I just don't think they're as
In
big
the
of a-
open world, yeah, no, but like the end
Mm.
game content is like we're talking like comparing like Abyss, right? And also like HSR has fucking Acheron, which doesn't care about what elements you are.
True.
Fuck the elements. And we don't have that on Genshin. We don't have anyone that can actually like penetrates every elements.
I mean, Dendro though is pretty good. Like, does anything like really resist Dendro?
So far not that I knew of.
Hmm.
But also Dendro doesn't really win against fire, and like it has a lot of weakness. Like in this game, in HSR, it's much more easy because you have the all resistance penetration. For example, like
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
Robin can do that. Robin can buff your whole team to do that. Like with like if you have the E1, when Robin do the ultimate, everyone get all resistance penetrations. So like
Oh, did you
literally
get her
no element
E1 or-
works. No, I got Topaz instead.
Okay.
But like Acheron can do that. Some characters already has like resistance penetrations, which can work already, and like so like yeah, I think HSR is much more simpler in a way, and also like HSR you need to farm less relics in general because you only need 4. Wait, 6. Wait, no, actually you need more. You need more.
Yeah.
than,
I
like,
feel like you
Genshin.
need a lot more relics than
Because like of the
HSR.
simulated, yeah, because of the ornaments and stuff. That makes sense. Genshin farming is just straight up harder. You gotta go into domains and stuff. You gotta actually beat the enemy, and you gotta actually move. Like in Genshin, in like
And they don't
HSR,
have
you
a
can just
good-
auto play it.
And they don't have a good reroll system either. Like I do love in HSR the synthesis for artifacts, like just being able to pick what gear you have.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff, so it's
I
like-
think like personally the way to solve it is like to have like to tweak the balance a bit. So like because like for example, I've been grinding for Izumo ornament these past few days. I did the simulated at least like 2 times. All the ornaments that I got from that thing is like fucking HP, and like that doesn't make sense.
Ornaments are such a pain.
This is an attack ornament. Like there should be like at least 2 or 3 of them that are like attack, meaning like at least like the main stat should be attack. So like I think they need to tweak like on that part. Like the main stat at least should be better than it currently is, but the substat is it's kind of like playing like Diablo or like ARPGs. Like it makes sense for them to be random. It's kind of like frustrating, but like,
even
it makes sense.
but even in ARPGs though, a lot of times you'll go for like the legendaries or like some other stuff, right? That have
like there is
guarantee.
but like if you see those ARPG, there are like no ways to guarantee a specific substat. Right? There's no way for you to pick a specific substat because like if you give it something like that, the end game is kind of like ruined because everyone at some point can pick the substat that they want. So like everyone will use the same weapon, like the same relic with the same stat because they all know.
But
like
is that a bad thing though? That's what I'm.
It's a bad thing for like game longevity. Like if you want a game
why?
to last
Just because
long,
the game ends, like because you're giving your players a little bit of time, like I guess from a player perspective, how is that a bad thing? That's what I want to.
No, from a player perspective, it's good. They can breeze through the game. They like the bad thing is probably like they're gonna
breeze,
get
but it'll still take time. Just not as much
eventually they
time
will
as-
breeze, and like depending on like how much time you want to commit and how much money you want to commit, you can do it faster. You can buy fuel to pass through it. You can use your jades for fuels, like you know. And also like if you just keep like farming specific gear, like you can eventually like for example like Acheron for a game, you know. Acheron is like really imbalanced in a way like if you have Acheron, you don't need other characters, right? You
But
cannot see
she's
where
very
I'm
good.
getting
She's
with
very good, yeah.
Acheron. When you have Acheron, do you even remember about using the other characters? No, because like she just can do everything. So like that makes the game, the whole game becomes limited because now you're gonna use Acheron all the time.
Well, for
Which
your
is not
general
bad for the
stuff, like-
player. Which is not bad for the players, but if you're the developer of the game, that means like if you release other characters, it's gonna be like they're gonna compare it to Acheron. Right? Because like for example, like a lot of people
But I
are
think we're
like,
kind of comparing two different things here, which is
No, it's yeah, it's a two different things, but it's the same concept. Like once something gets like too overpowered, like it becomes the meta, and then like once it becomes the meta, like then like there's like if you set an end goal inside and like people can reach it, and
I think that's a
once
good
people
thing
reach
because,
it, like what's they gonna do?
but if you make an end goal that people can't reach, then they just give up, right? Because nobody ever wants to. Nobody does want to play a game forever.
Yeah, people doesn't want to
Like,
grind the whole. That's why I'm trying. That's why I think like they need to strive a balance. I think the ideal way is like to make people enjoy the grind, but also not give it like a cap. Because when you put a like if cap is good if you want to limit like how much people playing the game, which is I guess like makes sense with like these two games. Like HSR is designed like for example like HSR you play like let's say you play 15 minutes a day right now, okay? To farm.
Yep.
Once you have all the gears, you're not gonna do 15 minutes anymore. Right? You gotta lower the engagement is gonna be lower in general because you already have what you need if you have an end goal for the game.
But that's, and I think that is fine because that prevents
that's
burnout.
fine. That's fine for a player, right? That's fine for the player. But like if we're talking about the game company, they want you to keep playing longer.
But why? I feel like game developers only want that because they're scared that they can't actually create a good game and that you'll come back to their game, right? Whereas I feel like
I'm playing devil advocate right here. I'm trying to like defend their side of things. I'm trying to like tell you like from their perspective. Like I would want people to like come back to the game more and stick around longer, ideally. And I also want a lot of things to be more viable. For example, if you can choose the substats, if you can choose all the substats that you need, then like I can grind just for like one character like Acheron. I can pick all the good substat for her. And then that's it. You know, the game will be easy for me. It's a win for me, the players.
But you can still do that though, right? Nowadays, it's just going to take you longer, right? So it's not like you're really preventing that from happening. You're just delaying it.
Yeah, it's extending it in. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, eventually people gonna like luck enough to like get there. You know, with enough luck, people will get there. But that's the thing. Luck is not something that is fixed.
And there are some people that have good luck and someone that have very bad.
Oh yeah, I'm one of the example that I have bad luck. Like like if we're talking about someone that would benefit from that, I would benefit from it the most. My stats ass. But I can see that like the way they do it, like it's just like what other companies does with like their MMOs and games. There's no way like there will be an MMO like any developer with MMO developer out there would allow you to be like, hey, there's this one good weapon, and if you farm enough, you can choose auto substat for it. Like you can build your own weapon basically.
Well, again, that's a different thing though, because most MMOs don't have random stats. They have set stats on their gear. And that is also a different route that Honkai could take too. Is like, why don't they have gear sets with set stats, and then you have your crit set, you have your attack set. And I feel like that could also make things, you know, it could make mixed sets more fun, or just, I feel like you could do more variety with that. But I don't know, like, so like when it comes to MMOs, like they do let you obtain, like, I think that's where I'm also pulling stuff from, because it's like a lot of MMOs is like, if you do a raid X number of times, you're going to get that piece of gear anyway. So it's like,
really, you're gonna get it like fix 100%.
Usually, yeah. Like for instance, in Final Fantasy 14,
eventually get it.
Yeah, because like in Final Fantasy 14, for instance, like every time you beat a boss, they give you a token, and so like if you obtain like let's say like I think it's somewhere between like 5 and 8 or something, but like if you do that X number of times, you can just turn that token in for the piece of gear that would have dropped off that boss if you were unlucky with the raid drops and everything.
See, but like Final Fantasy 14 gives you time sync in other parts. The whole point of the
True.
game
That's
like Final Fantasy 14 has a whole different business system, right? They gain more money when you play longer in the game, so they try to keep you in the game longer. Like
well,
they give you this goal in order to like make sure you played that much at least,
except the
because you
developer
paid
has,
subscription and stuff.
but the developer has also stated too that they are completely fine if people get into the content and like if you're just there about the story, you do the story, you stop paying your sub and come back again when there's more story. Like, and I think that's and I think that's the mode that I want developers to have, where it's like
it doesn't work when the game is already free. Because like where else are you gonna get the money?
Well, I mean, a new patch, new characters come out, like you have the people, like imagine like
but like you need content for the character to play.
Well, and that's
and
where like MOC
like,
and Endgame can come in, right? So it's like I think they're doing a good job with like MOC, Pure Fiction, and then we're also getting a new one, right?
I think Pure Fiction
I will
agree.
Good. Pure Fiction is not as good, and
we
don't know what the new path is or new Endgame mode is going to be, but
I heard the new game mode is going to be geared more toward hunt characters.
Yes,
so, like,
yes.
Making them more viable.
So I think that could be like really cool. Like I think they're on the right path. The fact that they are caring about Endgame and not leaving it like Genshin,
I think they're on the right path. I still think they shouldn't give the player too much agency. As bad as that sounds coming from me, because I'm one of the players, right?
What do you mean by like too much agency? Like,
well, like customizing your own stats and stuff.
Okay,
like that. That's way too much power.
Oh yeah, I might be going too far into that department. I just there needs to be a good middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, there should be a good middle ground. Like yeah, for example, like maybe like the pool of like the substat and the stats should be smaller. So for example, like you would not get like you can get HP on like an attack ornament, but maybe not defense, for example. Because like it's the exact opposite of attacking, basically.
Right.
Maybe like this is that's like a simple idea that I just came out on the spot right now, but like maybe something like that.
And when you're saying an attack, do you mean like, for instance, the set bonus has plus attack on it?
So like if the ornament or like the set is geared toward like attacking, then like the substat pool shouldn't be like filled with like flat defense and like defense percentage, and then like the whole set is like you get defense percentage main stat and then like defense flat HP percentage, and like that, what the fuck is that? That's not an attack ornament anymore.
I feel like that like could be nice, because then it could differentiate, like, say for instance like crit damage, right, is another one too. Like maybe there could be sets that are more oriented towards getting you crit damage, and so I do kind of like that. Like
like the set makes sense. Like the thing is like this is coming, like this is the stats of a relic that is supposed to boost your attack, right? That doesn't jive with me, is what I'm saying. That I think like when you're farming for like an attack, that stuff that is meant for attack, there should be more attack in it and not defense or HP. Like the probability is like too skewed towards it being like, that's why I brought up the Izumo, because like Izumo is like clearly like the bonus, like the set bonus is like attack, right?
Which one? And then is that one of the newer ones? The
Izumo is like the one from World 9 for like Akron.
Okay, yeah. The attack, and then it's like you get extra. Yeah. Was it crit rate or something?
I farm like 2 times. I have like what, 11 right now in my screen. I got 11. All of them are HP and break effects, and their substats are like HP. Yep. And like look at this. This is break effect, flat defense, HP percentage, defense percentage, and effect hit rate. And like this is not something that should show up on an attack, and like on an item that is meant for attack. Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like if it's like an attack relic, and like if it's like a defense relic, then like sure, some maybe some of the stat has attack on it, and then like it's defense. Okay, that's fine. 1 or 2 of them, and then maybe you're not gonna be lucky, and then they all went to attack stats instead of like the defense part, and that's fine. But if you have a defense like relic, and then it's like crit damage, attack flat, attack percentage, and then crit rate, and then like like what kind of character would you? That's like an instant trash, basically. Like they're making like some of the relics into like literal trash. Like you're not gonna use
I
it
agree.
in any way. So I think they should make it like more viable.
Yeah.
Like for people to use those relics. Like,
and I feel like that would
there shouldn't
probably
be
be a good
relics
way
that are super
to.
trash.
That'd probably be a good way to test things, right? Because my suggestion is probably too big of a change too quickly. I feel like that's a decent enough change that like you could test it out and see how it goes, and then
yeah, you can tweak like you know you can just tell us like, hey, we tweaked the percentage, like the chance of like getting like spits, like some substats and main stats. Just let us know if you prefer the numbers to be like this, you know. Like for example, instead of like when you're farming, instead of getting like 9 trash, you're getting like 6 trash and 3 goods. So like the trash can be used as materials. So like see, it should also like kind of fulfill like what you're trying to do, like giving people like some hope, because like at least like if you're farming like me and you got 11 trash out of the 11 stuff that you get, you know, you kind of disheartened. But if you get like 3 good, like 3 that are somewhat has potential, and then like 6, like what 8 trash, you can use those 8 as materials, and then like, you know, that's when you start gambling with the chance.
Yeah, what do you think about like as far as substats is concerned? Do you think they should just get rid of like the flat stats? Because they're usually always like terrible, right? Like
I think they should up it a bit so it's become more viable. I don't think they should remove it outwards out of like balance reason, because like if everything is percentage, first of all, there's going to be less things in the pool in general,
right, and that's
which makes things easier. I think if they want to keep it around, they should buff the number so like it's viable in the end game, because like plus 70 attack in the end game doesn't really do anything. Right, if the plus attack is like 150 instead of 70, that would do something, right? Like you would have seen that and be like, you know what, it's not the best, but it's okay.
And then maybe that could help out, because don't people say like if you get too much attack, it eventually like you get diminishing returns or something? It's like, oh, maybe then if they up the flat attack, that could actually maybe go past that limit.
I don't follow the stats, the whole number of games.
I don't really closely. Too much either. I just know generally what people say. I just be like, I need attack. Like I'm just gonna stack as much as I need. It kind of
makes sense if they buff the flat attack too much. It's gonna like power creep the percentage, because like for example, like because the way they do percentage is based on like the base attack, right? So for example, if you have an artifact with like 10% plus 10% attack, if your base attack is 1,000, then it's going to be plus 100, like in flat.
Well,
so like if the flat is really if the flat is too close to the percentage, then like it doesn't matter whether you get like one or the other.
I think that depends on how they do the calculations. Because I thought I remember something in like Genshin, for instance, where it's like the extra
they do
attack.
It in the base.
Like
they do it in the base attack. That's why when you upgrade, like now, I think this is from a recent update. I don't remember seeing this on like the early game. When you upgrade your character, when you ascend them, it's gonna say base attack and base HP.
Okay, that's actually good.
And that's what they use. Yeah. I think one of the other reason, like this is just a speculation on my part. One of the reason the flat stuff couldn't be too high, it's because it's being counted into the percentage.
Okay.
So when you have a flat stat on your character, like a flat increase, the flat increase gets counted like towards the percentage bonus. So like if you have 100, if you have 1,000 HP, and then there's a flat 100 HP flat, and then like a 5%, it's gonna be like 5% of like 1,100 instead of like 5% of 1,000. I think, and that's why they couldn't get the flat too high. I think, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't work in the company.
Yeah.
That would make sense why like they couldn't buff it too high, but I still think it should be higher. It should at least be able to reach like 3 digits. Because like right now, I don't think it ever reaches like 3 digits in the HSR at least.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like,
so I'm like, you know what? It should at least be able to like do like, I don't know, 100, maybe 90 attack, 120 attack, maybe, or 8 like for HP, maybe it reached like 200 or 150. That would be nice.
It would be.
Especially if it like affects the calculation, it would be nice to have them be higher and like more impactful. That way people wouldn't just see like, oh shit, this relic has like all flat stats, throw away.
Yep.
Because like that also feeds into like the whole like most relics are trash, only certain stuff are good. It's just basically like what I'm trying to say is basically like trying to make every stats more viable, I guess. Give people more option and like more ways to approach things, like because the end game is the same, right? You get the highest attack, highest crit damage, and like enough crit rate to keep rocking the crits. And like it's just like doing it like this gives you more option to reach that path. You know, instead of like increasing the percentage, you can like instead of like a 200% attack, you can just double your base damage, and then like if you have like a bonus 100%, it's gonna be it's the same number as like 1,000 attack with 200% bonus.
Yeah, and because like the only way they've really been getting around the crit damage stuff is by just having characters that scale off of different things, right? So we've had dot characters which are more like effect.
That kind of annoys
attack.
me.
And then they're having like the break effect characters coming up soon. So yeah, it
kind of annoys me in HSR more than Genshin. Because like in Genshin, the scaling happens on the skills, right? So for example, like Furina, her skills all scales from her health, which is fine.
Right.
That means like her attack still matters, like for like hitting normally. Her HP is more important, but the attack still matters. But for Aventurine, the whole thing is like scales from his defense. So like any attack stats is fucking useless. But his attack keeps increasing anyway because of the levels and the light cone and so I'm like what are we using this for? It would make sense for it to be more like March personally, or like they can do it like the Trailblazer, like how like his skill is basically like it's gonna do like a percentage of his attack plus a percentage of his defense. That way like every stat matters, because like I just hate when like some stats just doesn't matter.
Do anything.
Yeah, that's my take. Can be a bit controversial, can be a bit weird.
No, I agree with that.
Like, thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like, I think if enough people, because the Star Rail team does seem to want to actually listen to their player base, right? So
they seem to listen more.
Yeah. So I feel like if enough people complain.
Influence of the executive.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard about that too.
I heard the reason that's the reason Genshin sucks.
Yeah.
It's like the dude doesn't want to change.
Well, because like the guy was on Honkai Impact 3rd originally, and that game was used to be known for being very stingy. Then he left to go to Genshin, and then that game became super generous, and now this game's generous too, and so yeah, people are
always the business
speculating
people that are ruining things. I hate it. I hate when like business people are ruining things.
And what's worse is that they're not going to replace him because Genshin makes a lot of money, right? So they're going to think that he's the reason why they're making a lot of money, but...
What about Honkai? Didn't the game make a lot of money back then?
I think it made enough for them to be able to make other games, but it definitely didn't make anywhere near as much
here's
as
the
Genshin
logic that I'm questioning right now. If Honkai Impact wasn't successful, how did the guy ended up getting moved to Genshin to try and quote unquote make it more successful when his previous business is fucking ass?
I think it depends on what your definition of success is. I think it definitely was a successful game for what it was. If you're comparing it to the success,
it wasn't really financially successful. Then why did you bring it to Genshin? Genshin is because like I think the dude was brought into Genshin like down the line even, right? Or something. Or was he managing both games
wouldn't
before
know,
and like he just let go the hentai part after that? I don't know the detail, but like I just know that like he used to be doing Honkai and now he's doing Genshin, and now Genshin
that's pretty much all I know too. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's streaming on. Why did stream? Wait, what? Bro, I swear, someone told me that my stream is mute. If I've been talking for 3 hours and it's mute.
Oh no! I hope that's not true.
Oh please no. Now, It was on my oh my god.
Okay, it was in. Okay. Oh, that's always so scary when that happens. Like,
Eerie, you're trying to kill me with heart attack.
because I've had that before too, where it's like I accidentally, I think I've had like Discord muted when I'm talking to friends, and then it's like,
I would die if I've been talking 3 hours like this, and like, it happened to me too. But like, it happened for like first hour or something, and that was fine for me, I guess. The game was muted or something, and like I had the one where I was muted or something.
right.
But like, if it's like the whole stream, I'm muted. Oh my
Yeah.
god! Especially since like this stream is less about playing the games, since we've been mostly talking. That would be bad.
Yeah, luckily I've had those things too, and chat's been good enough to just remind to be like, oh, I think you're muted or something doesn't seem right. You're awfully quiet for
spoiler territory. I guess kind of.
Oh yeah, we have pretty
don't-
much been all spoilers for.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we've passed talking about the spoiler for the most part, right?
True.
We
Yeah,
haven't been really. Yeah, we've been more discussing about the general principle, but like it makes sense for her to like learn.
At the beginning,
It's
we
like,
definitely
have a
were
good
talking
learn.
a lot about spoilers. So.
I'm glad she wasn't here. I think she was still on like the talent show. She's like barely half.
Okay.
It would be bad if she got spoiled. I feel like she would be so angry.
I mean, to be honest, though, like I'll have to watch back and see. But it's like, did we actually do a good job explaining anything, or were we just kind of?
I think we kind of skimmed some of the parts.
Yeah.
For example, like I think we didn't go into full detail of like the whole like explaining. Like for example, we skipped the part where like because like when we were doing a recap, we skipped the part where like Aventurine was getting cursed and like talking to Sparkle and stuff.
I think we
The
missed
one
all the
with,
stuff
like,
with
the
Misha, actually, to
topaz.
be honest. With him being the watchmaker, and well, spoiler with him being.
Yeah, spoiler. And also I guess we kind of skimmed the part where like Akron straight up like we skim about the part about like Aventurine like taunting all of us after that.
Oh yeah. Where she just like.
So like
cuts
we
the moon in
we
half,
go
yeah.
through like the big picture, but we don't really talk about the details. Oh, companion character. Oh, so this is the one where like it's Black Swan and like Sparkle, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay.
That one's a good one. You'll find out about Sampo and stuff too. So. Oh.
It's getting dark, so like my tracking is getting ass.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's already like 10 here.
I know, and it's 10 in my place too.
Yeah, 'cause I
I'm
think
just
we're
still
both
not
in
used
the.
to like. Wait, what? Oh, no,
Yeah,
what?
'cause we're both in the same time zone and everything. So.
Yeah. It's just I'm still kind of thrown off by the fact that it can be 9 p.m. here and still have lights in my in the sky. Like it's gonna be still bright. In my country, it'll be dark by 6. It's basically like the winter version of like America.
Well, it
like,
depends.
it's like
Because the winter it gets dark really soon here, right? Like,
yeah.
that's
In
what I'm
winter,
not
you
used.
you get dark around like 5 or 6, right? That's normal for me.
Oh, that wasn't normal for me when I was in Florida. I felt like it got lighter, or it got darker a lot later. So like that always threw me off. Like you get home when
I
it's
think
already.
that's in general. Yeah, that's in general the Western experience, the American experience. Because like when in my country, we like 6 a.m. is already pretty bright. Like 5 a.m. is like when the sun starts like going up, rising and stuff. And like it gets dark around 6, 7. 7 is usually pitch black already. Like there's no more sun. 6 can still have some sun. 7 is definitely no sun. In this country, like you can be at 9 p.m. and it's like there's still some light by the sun. I'm like, what the fuck?
But yeah. So is there anything else that we want to cover, or we kind of?
I
Hit
think
everything?
I think like when we were talking about like what next update, like what do
Oh
you
yes.
think? I haven't heard
So-
like your opinion.
So I definitely feel like the IPC is going to be a big thing, because I feel like the stuff with Jade is really important. So I feel like, and also since Jade is going to be a character next patch, I feel like it makes sense that they would be part of the story in some way. What exactly that's going to mean though, as far as like story, like I don't know, like how that's going to resolve. I hope it resolves nicely, but and then we do still need to know about Sunday, right? Because I just got a text message from Robin saying that she wants us to find more information about him and everything. So,
so yeah, I'm assuming that like maybe like since like we were like the whole time we've been like watching like Robin's story from Sunday's perspective, right? So maybe now when like we're gonna watch like Robin's story from like her perspective of like looking for her brother. Maybe it's gonna be the companion quest.
Ooh, yeah,
Maybe
that's true because we don't really know what happened to Robin while she was quote unquote dead. So
yeah, maybe because like right now she's messaging us to like meet up and stuff. I'm wondering like if like when we were looking for him, it's gonna be like the companion mission. Like we're gonna walk around and she's gonna start telling us stories. That would be something like viable. Since like you mentioned, the next banner is Jade and also like Firefly. I'm assuming Firefly's companion story would be really good. Yeah,
yes,
as I said earlier, that will make sense. Introduction to like the IPC in general, because like we've been having meetings here and there with like the Topaz and Aventurine, but like we don't really get a full deep dive into it, which is really weird, right? Because
and didn't they mention
like,
something too?
IPC is like preservation, and we literally have the power of preservation already. I wonder like why didn't they like pay attention to us? Like wouldn't they be intrigued in like someone that can literally catch the gaze of their gods?
I think they definitely are. I feel like Welt and Himiko though are doing a good job of protecting us from that maybe. But like now
he can do like they can do that because like so far Topaz is pretty kind and Aventurine has another mission. But now that like I wonder like when like if Jade ever comes, she's gonna see us and like, oh, like look at you, like you got some of that preservation power in you, huh? Interesting.
Oh,
or like Diamond
that's a good point. Yeah.
Or maybe Diamond would come because like Aventurine is about to have a meeting with a Diamond, right? And then like maybe like we're gonna be hanging out with Aventurine and then like Diamond shows up and like, huh?
Well, remember
like he's an emanator.
Well,
so
remember
like he would definitely
in the dream,
notice.
They mentioned that they wanted us to join for the peace talks or something, right? Between the IPC, and so it's like
it's
maybe something
that
along
happens,
that. Yeah,
and then Diamond shows up and it's like, huh, interesting. This little kid here has some traces of like the god that I'm following. Maybe
I feel like
I should take him to Pierpoint.
Yeah, I feel like we won't see Diamond just yet. I feel like what they'll do with him is kind of what they've done with like some of the other characters, where they'll tease him in like one of their trailers on their YouTube channel. Like maybe we'll see a silhouette of him. I feel like we would see a Lycone actually of Diamond first, kind of like
we don't
how
even have a silhouette of him though. That's the thing. There's no like there's like even artists cannot like really draw anything for it because like there's literally nothing about him. Yet.
But like we had a Lycone with Aventurine on it from like very early on. Like it was the one with Topaz. Really? Yeah, it's in preservation. He had a hat on, which I'm really disappointed that they got rid of his hat. But yeah, it's like the Lycone trend.
There's just no way to see it.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the preservation Lycone's trend of the universal market, and Adventurine's like in the background there with his hat that he got rid of, and and I feel like they've used Lycone to hint at other characters too, like because Hanya and Shui,
there.
Like we had a Lycone of them of destruction when they were little kids, and so like I feel like we'll get a Lycone of Diamond first, but we may not realize that it's Diamond, right? He'll probably just be like a character in the background.
Maybe you're gonna see his back and just like maybe on Jade's Lycone, you know, that would make sense because like Jade is always with Diamond. Like Jade is literally the only one that talks with Diamond so far. So it would make sense like the her Lycone would have something related to him.
Yep. By the way, I love the art for the new Black Swan and Acheron Lycone where they're dancing.
The dance one.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't really watch the trailer. That's why I don't really get
Hmm.
the same like appreciation that you guys have. Because like that's the thing. Like oh yeah, while we're talking about this, did you know the controversy like about Genshin? Like
Which
how
one?
like the trailer basically spoils the whole Arlecchino quest line.
That's what I heard, and I remember seeing a little bit of the trailer, but I haven't done the
Because-
story. Like I haven't
yeah.
done it myself, and I probably don't remember all.
Yeah,
what
I
happened to
knew it because I knew it really funny. I knew it
Mhm.
because of the HSR controversy about the whole Robin, Robin being lesbian and stuff. I wouldn't get
Oh
into
yeah,
it,
yeah. That
but like
whole.
while they were talking about it,
Mhm.
like well Tectone, the streamer, the big streamer,
Yep, yep.
talking about it,
Mhm.
he was going on like, oh, first like people are like shitting on me because like I'm shit talking about Genshin, and then like he mentioned about how Genshin spoils the whole storyline with freaking trailer, and I'm like,
Mm.
you know what, maybe it's a good thing I didn't watch trailers, because like I would be as pissed as him too if I have to
Yeah.
like if I'm playing a story, like especially since Arlecchino like unlocks the boss fight, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you play the storyline, and then like how like I think like half of the storyline you don't even meet with Arlecchino. The other half you get to talk with her, but like she's
Mhm.
basically telling you the story that like you already watched in a
I wonder
whole
if
animated scene.
yeah, I wonder if they did that just because there wasn't much else in that patch, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I
like they
still think
had
they should
to.
do the animation after the update though. That's the thing.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah,
they do
definitely.
they
Hmm.
did like, or at least like the I mean, even the same day can be bad, but like honestly they should do it
Oh,
after
so
the
is
update.
it? So what are you saying that it was like the little kid
Yeah,
animation?
the
Like,
animation about like the small
oh
like the small
really?
alligator. That's the whole
Oh,
quest.
I thought they were talking about the like trailer. You know, like how each
Oh no
patch
no
they
no
have like
no!
a
They're
trailer.
talking about no, they're talking about
Oh,
the animation.
I
They
didn't
had the
realize.
whole
Okay,
quest.
no, that's
So
even
like if you
worse.
already
Yeah.
so because like, if you already watched that and it's a week
Hmm.
early, right? You don't have to play the mission. You already knew. And what's
Okay.
worse is that
Okay.
like the way they tell the story in the game, it's basically like through the kids. You don't even get to meet the Arlecchino. So like it's
Hmm.
even worse. Worse way like it's a worse way of telling the story of something that you already knew
Hmm.
because of the trailer, like because of
Interesting.
like the animation. So like that's so bad. That's like such a dumb decision. I don't know who's greenlit that and be like,
Hmm.
oh, it's a good idea for me to like publish the anime and then like release an update to the game that has the exact same story as the anime.
Well, and it's weird too because usually when Genshin does that, or even like, I'll say Genshin's probably the one because they'll do it after the patch, right after people like they'll
Hmm.
give people a week and then they'll upload like the
Yeah,
cutscenes or something, right? So I'm
yeah. Like
surprised it didn't
imagine
do
if
that this
Genshin
time.
anime.
Yeah.
Hmm. Like imagine if Genshin anime shows up like.
When are we getting that Genshin anime? Because they
I think
tease that
2025.
forever.
I think.
Okay.
I think this. Yeah. I think 2025 we probably would have more updates about it.
Okay. Okay.
That's what
Just
they're
updates,
hinting
not a
at.
release.
Now that I don't know. I mean, it makes sense if anime can be. It
Hmm.
depends on like what the end result is personally before I would say anything.
True. True. And I wonder what
Because
story
like
they'll cover,
if the
right?
animation is really good, then I would definitely be like, you know what, you use that
Take your
time
time.
like
Yep.
yeah,
Mm.
that is time worth spending, like worth waiting for.
Hmm.
Otherwise, mm-mm.
So yeah, luckily they haven't done anything like that for Star Rail yet. Usually
Oh yeah,
they've been doing
they
it just
better
to
not.
tease. They're just teasing stuff. Like for instance that
No, for
dragon one that I sent you where it's like they're teasing potential future characters but no
Mhm.
like major background.
Yeah, no,
So,
like if they want to do like for me, like if they want to do an animation, like
mhm.
like Arlecchino's storyline kind of boring already, according to people. I haven't played, right? Because like I haven't
Right,
reached
right. I haven't done
that
it
point
yet
of the
either.
story,
Mhm.
but like it would make more sense if you play through the game first, and then get like the story is so interesting. Like, cause like this is like how it happens usually, right? You like when you read a manga, you understand the story, and then you were like, this would be so cool if it's animated.
Sometimes it's
And I
reversed,
think that
right?
would
Where you see the
that
anime
would
and then. Mhm.
no, you would never see the anime. This would be so cool if it's drawn, like if I read the manga. No, there's no like that kind of thinking, right?
Well, no,
It makes more sense.
it
Like,
depends. Like if like say the anime ends, but there's more in the manga, you'll go and read the manga, right? Because you want to know what happens next in the story.
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But like, I'm talking about like, since like the game, I heard like the way they tell the story in the game kind of sucks,
Yeah,
because
it
like
gets
half of it is you're talking to the kids, and the other half is you're talking to Arlecchino towards the end of the quest line, right?
yeah,
So
it's
like, it
like
would make more sense if like, oh, people would be like, you know what, this is kind of mid, but then they showed the trailer, like the animation, and like, oh, now like, now I understand what this is going for.
yeah, because it's like I mean, well, I don't want to say to be fair, but I think Genshin has always had that problem where it has really cool lore, but their storytelling is terrible. And like I was even a lot of people were praising like 4.0. I 4.0 really kind of pissed me off. I won't go into it because I don't think you've played it yet, right? So, but it's like their storytelling is very bad.
Okay.
Like, because
Is it like bad like Shancho Wofu?
no, so I guess it was more. It's bad in that they don't let the players kind of have their own. What's the right way? They don't think their players are smart enough to be able to figure out their own story. So
is it the part where like Paimon keeps
sort of. So like, do you mind if I talk a little bit about Nervalette?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, I'll explain what I really hated with like 4.0 here. So like, when you first get into 4.0 and everything, you're introduced to like the court and everything and Nervalette, and he's like, oh, this really cool character. And then you see the weather start to, like, you leave the courtroom and everything, and you see the weather change and it's raining and everything. And you're like, huh, that's interesting. And some passerby, like, townspeople are like, yeah, it always kind of rains here sometimes after the court ends and everything. We don't know why, it just happens. And you're like, okay, it probably is happening because we just met this really cool guy that has water power and is connected to the court. Maybe there's some sort of connection, right? And then the second time that ends up happening is when you're meeting Nervalette and he gets into this huge argument with another character, right? And that girl thinks that he's being heartless and everything, and she runs out, upset and everything. And then you leave the building and you see that everything's crying, and you're like, okay, it's obvious that this is like Nervalette,
obviously
and
the girl.
It's his emotions, and he's actually really upset, but he's just putting on this stoic face and everything, right? And then at the end of that patch, you see, like, it's already raining this time, and you see Nervalette at a gravesite, right? And it's like, okay, obviously it's raining because he's crying, he's at a grave, he's sad. And then the girl that he had a previous argument with, they walk up, they have a talk, you leave them alone, and then it stops raining. And you're like, okay, they made up, they're good, it's happy. And Nervalette comes out and goes to talk to you. And as he's going down to talk to you, Paimon's like, huh, interesting. It stopped raining. Oh, hello there, Nervalette. How are you feeling today? And it's just like, God, like, why did you have to say that? Because it's like, as a player, I felt smart for making that connection. And then they just make it, and then like, they just
give you that
right.
big hint, like, instead of subtle hint, they just like throw it in your face.
Right. And it's like, I feel like that's just kind of how it always is.
The game handholds too much. Genshin is trying to be too casual.
Yes.
And that's the thing. There's just no appeasing the casual. Like I said, like there's a casual that like doesn't even want to play for 5 minutes a day.
Right.
Bro. I think you should appeal to the people that actually like playing the games right now. I'm not trying to make everything easier. It's like that will be... Man, I don't know what companies want sometimes. They're like, we like money, but also we're not gonna listen to what shit you're talking about.
Well, it's like, I think like a lot of the times it's people that get hired in positions that aren't really connected to because at least what I've seen in like tech and everything is like, like tech starts up, it gets really like they get big, and so you have to hire other people that handle,
t-
like
yeah,
business and finances and stuff.
people that doesn't understand like
Hmm.
how the business works. Yeah,
But then it's like
I think
when the success happens, it's those people that get credited for it, right? And so then people
Mhm.
start listening to those people, and since they're so
And then like
disconnected,
I think
yeah,
I remember the example like when you have like engineering people like design good stuff because they're
hmm,
engineering people, they know like what the people need, what the people want. And
yep,
then like you like the company grows bigger, you need the business financial people.
yes,
And
yes,
financial people
hmm,
doesn't really know what the consumer want. All they want to know is like the number go up.
right,
So like
exactly.
the engineer people gets like replaced by like the business people, and like the product gets worse.
Hmm.
But like if as long as the number goes up, like
They
the
don't
financial
care,
people keeps getting praise. Yeah.
and it's
Even though
like,
like the people that's supposed to make the product better is gone, basically.
well, and it's like,
Gets replaced.
and I think the thing that they always forget about is like the reason why it's still going up is because you built customer trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or and like
Yeah.
let's say in Genshin's place, it's player
Customer
trust,
trust and loyalty. Yeah.
right. So it's like what they're doing then when they get rid of those people that actually made the good decisions is that they're starting to now burn that trust, and eventually you hit a
Mm-hmm.
point where people
Where
just
there's no
stop
more
doing
trust to
it,
burn.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like we've seen that a lot with, I think WoW had that hitting, that point a while
I think that's
back,
why
and
Wuthering Wave gets like a lot of like help, honestly, from Genshin. Is that like Genshin is keeps burning the trust, and like
yep.
now you got an alternative, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also see that one game with the
Which one?
it's like a gacha game? Not a
Mm-hmm.
gacha game. It's like the same as Genshin, but it's like Souls like. I forgot the
Oh,
name.
yes. I think I know what you're talking about. I saw
I saw
little
it.
bits of it, but I kind of wanted to wait till more information was out about it. But it did
I
look
am
interesting.
hooked. I love Souls game, and like but anime? Souls game but anime? Like kind of basically Code Vein?
Yeah, that's
Hell
exactly what I was
yeah.
thinking too, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. And also there's a couple other that are coming out. Like, did you see the Power World Genshin one? Azure Permilia?
What was that again? Sorry.
Have you seen the Azure Permilia, the Genshin slash Power World gacha that's going to be coming out?
Oh, Azure from Familia.
Yeah. That one looks
I'm
really
interested
cool.
in that too. Yeah. And then like the Arknight ones.
Enfield,
Enfield?
yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in it,
But
but at
like
the
Azure
same time,
Familia,
it's
I heard might be okay. Oh, okay. It's gonna show up on like multiple. I thought it's gonna be like PlayStation 5 exclusive or something.
Azure Permilia. Oh,
Yeah.
that would kill it right away if it was only.
Oh yeah, it's exclusive, but like for console. So like it's not coming to Xbox. It's
Okay,
PC,
that's
PS5,
fine.
and like Androids.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Hmm. And then,
Hmm.
are there any others? Like, I'm trying to think of some.
I think something that gacha games could do better is like once like they don't have to do this outright. Okay, like
Mhm.
when Genshin first came out, I understand. Like the whole like you're doing a new IP, you don't really have like any like insurance like make sure that like the game is gonna profit and stuff. So like you gotta do it the bare minimum, like mobile first design. But like after they got success, they should like start making like if the game is on PC, they should make it like so like it's PC friendly too.
Yes.
Like for example, I think Genshin has like 120 frames support on iPad. Only on iPad.
Okay.
Only
I was
on
gonna say 'cause
iPad.
it's like I thought it didn't have 120, but it's only on
No,
iPad.
it has one on
Okay.
iPad and I think like iPhone 13 above. I think, which is dumb. You have a PC in here. Where's the
Right.
120 frames for the PC? And they just never update it.
Hmm.
And
It's
I'm like,
what
I don't
phone
get it.
can
It's
handle
already
100?
there. Yeah, no, I don't even think iPad could handle it.
Hmm.
Well, maybe the new one can, because like it's a laptop chip basically, right? Like the
Yeah.
M1.
Isn't the
M2,
new one
M3,
like
M4.
really expensive too?
It's expensive, but like like we're talking about whether it can run it or not, right?
True. Yeah.
Like I know the new iPad, like the new one with the M4 is like, I wanted to buy one. It costs like two
Mm.
grand minimum
Yeah, that's
for the
what.
pen and the keyboard and everything. It's 2 grand, and I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to shell out laptop money for an iPad.
Yep. No, I
So
totally
like,
understand that.
but I don't understand like this. Sometimes companies just prioritizing the stupid shit.
Mm.
I think. Where are more the birds?
Yeah.
I don't have enough polls. I wanna get E1 Robin.
Yeah. I might. I think I have enough for one Robin pull. So let me see if I can get Robin right now.
Oh my god, I need to see this. Let's go.
No.
Pull it.
It's just a 4-star. I think I'm going to be hitting hard pity on this one because I think I'm already at like 60 or something.
Man, don't be like
No.
me. You know my Robin.
It happens. It happens. I got adventuring too early, so
I had to do 180 pulls for my Robin. Like 180. I went to 90. I lose to Weld, and I had to do 90 again to get Robin.
I do have a tempo on the standard. I'll just do that. Let's see.
That's the reason I only started 2.2 like yesterday.
Okay,
Because
okay.
like that day I was supposed to be polling and then playing the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just got so burned out by the poll. I was like,
Yep.
I don't want to see this game right now.
And nope, we didn't end up winning there, Despula. Thank you for stopping
She's
by,
so
though.
pretty. We love hot woman. I mean,
Yeah. All right.
I
So
love
is there
hot men
anything else
too.
that we want to talk about real quick before ending, or at least I'm not much of a night owl, so it's already.
That makes sense. I don't personally have anything. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think we kind of covered a lot. Like, talked about what our thoughts were during. I'm glad that you did the opposite stuff with Sunday, because I was interested to see what those other paths would be.
Oh yeah,
But yeah.
I'm glad I was able to like shed some light in your, and like give you some share some of my perspective too on that side of the story, because I feel like I relate a lot with Sunday, at least like in terms of like being logical and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna go around and kill people. That's it.
No, yeah. You're not gonna be. I can't confess my sins to you, and then you tell me that.
I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna be like Uchiha Madara wannabe. That's what people keep calling like Sunday. Madara wannabe, because like he's doing the exact same thing that Madara did in like Naruto.
Okay. Yep. But yeah, it's like I think we've talked about everything, and it'll be interesting. We'll have to see if we think any of our predictions come true in the next patch. It's always interesting to see.
We should do it again next patch.
Ooh,
we got like 2 more weeks, right? So like,
yeah, I think.
Wait, so like it's 2 weeks from now. I think. Like, the banner is.
I think it'll be longer because it's just 2 weeks for this.
Oh, it's patch.
For this
Wait,
banner.
That's banner, not patch.
And then,
yeah. So like it's gonna be a couple. Yeah, we should. We can probably make this into like a patch thing. It's like every 1 month, like we can do discussion like this.
Yeah, and then maybe we could also talk about
production. Yeah,
like weathering waves and other stuff too. That could be fun.
Oh hell yeah!
Which I think
I'm looking forward to that.
I guess as a ending. So did we talk about what we're thinking about doing for weathering waves, or because are you planning on playing that next week? I think.
I'm definitely playing it. I just don't know what I want to do yet. I still don't know the performance of the game, the story. Is it like interesting enough, because different from like Genshin. On Genshin I have like multiple accounts. I can definitely like replay through the story.
I cannot imagine. I don't know how you deal with having multiple accounts on.
Now I had my friend helping me on Genshin specifically. HSR I have 3 accounts. I played it all myself. Personally, it's pretty easy because like it's 5-minute commitment each, right? So like I just open my other account, play 5 minutes, do the dailies, finish the energies, and then like on the weekends I usually do it on my work shift. I just like do the simulated universe and like the Echo War.
Okay.
That's how I do things. That's all I do. I don't really do their story that far. I only do the story far enough to get the most of the access, like the access to like Echo of War and like the the simulated universe and stuff.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Like I only finished like Yarilo 6 on like 2 other accounts. So definitely not that far. I'm gonna like take my time with those. I'm not gonna like too worried about like the storyline on those two.
Okay. Okay.
Just log in,
Just
get
kinda
the
pulling.
prize, get the dailies, yeah.
Mm.
But Genshin, I had a friend that helped me do the dailies and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's like I think I'm definitely gonna play Wuthering Waves like the first day after work and everything, and then I'm not sure what because I'm probably not going to be able to hold myself back from playing, right
At
away on
work.
the next day. But it's like I don't know if I want to stream all that either. So
I'd say you don't have to decide now. You can just
yeah,
have the first night. You can just stream the first day and see how it goes, right?
right. And
If
then
the
if I get
game,
to a good
suits
spot,
you, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing the same thing. It's like I know I'm definitely gonna play the day one. I just don't know like how the experience gonna be. Because
Right.
I basically know nothing about like a lot of people has always been like, oh, I know the characters coming. This one is good. People are already making tier lists like which stuff is
Oh,
good,
I haven't
which
even
place
looked
to
at the
farm.
tier list because
Yeah,
I'm sure they're
I
going to
didn't
be
look at any
wrong.
of those. Yeah, I don't look at them. I don't really care at them that
Mhm.
much. I'm gonna like find them out myself later.
Yeah, no, there is one character I want. I want, was it Tai Chi or Tao Chi? She's a
Oh, the
pink-haired girl.
tiger girl or tiger guy. I don't know.
No. This is the pink-haired girl with really big personality.
Oh, I don't even know about that.
Let
It's
me.
like I don't really pay attention to any of those. The drip marketing and everything. I don't know nothing about it.
I might be
So
saying
like,
her name
we gotta see how
incorrectly
it
too,
goes.
but yeah. And let me see if I can get you a good picture of her. But yeah, I want her. She's only a 4-star though, so. And sometimes I feel 4 stars are even harder to get than 5 stars. So.
Sometimes they do.
Hmm.
Sometimes they do. I need one more character that I can like finish. Only I can have another DPS that is not Acheron. Not Acheron, but can actually wipe a team and not like a hunt. Like the thing that makes me hate hunt is that like a lot of the enemies are not just one guy.
Right. They are multiple, so it does make it. No, like it's understandable. Like I can get. I think a lot of people don't like Hunt in its current state at the moment, but. But I'm interested to see what the new path that they bring in is going to be. But yeah.
See how it goes.
But anyway, I think we're just about done then, right? Well, thank you everybody for stopping by.
You gonna just end it, or are you gonna try to raid someone maybe?
I
don't know. Do we have any?
I am very bad at rating people on Twitch. So let me see. Do I even know anybody that's on? Let's see.
I mean, like, if you don't have anyone, we don't have to. I'm just wondering. Because, like, if you want to rate someone, maybe, I can have, like, especially if I knew the person, like, I can just.
I do know somebody that's playing Apex right now.
Who?
Scorpy.
Scorpy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can rate him.
Yeah, let's go and rate him then. All right, let me get that.
Alrighty.
Wait. Did I actually just close out my Twitch studio? I did. Let me go back to it. But yeah, we'll go and raid Scorpy then. He's playing some Apex. He's a good player, so.
Sounds like a plan. I hope you guys enjoy the Apex stream there.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for stopping by and enjoying our random talks through stuff. Random. Okay. But yep, I'm going to go.
Random discussion, prediction.
Raid channel. Why is it not showing me the people I'm following?
You can slash
There it
raid.
is.
You can slash
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
slash rate their name. Yeah.
And then I think we're good.
All
right. Well, thank you everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.